Welcome, everyone, to the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me. Thanks for playing, TJ.
Well, Grumpy, I have to apologize. It was apparently, today was my first day on the internet, as you'll be interested to know. So I feel duped. I feel bamboozled.
Did I warn you ahead of time? I
thought there was no way.
No. That wasn't the question. Did I warn you ahead of time?
You did.
Thank you very much.
What we're talking about here is Grumpy Old Man and I have been working on the shirt production here for I want to say the better half of probably way too long. What do you say? About half a year, Grumpy?
No, since I got involved, 3 weeks? And what do you know? Now things are happening. And TJ goes and blunders the first one right away.
Well, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show everybody what type of differences we had. And I said, hey, guys, I wanted to get them to weigh in. I wanted people to be able to, share their opinion on which one, because there's only one design where I really thought there was a little bit of leeway in. I really wanted the fans' opinions, the listeners of the show's opinion. And my dumb ass didn't know on Twitter, again, because I don't use social media that often. Grumpy never does. We ran across and a Twitter bot grabbed it and tried to sell the image until we had the copyright or until we had the property ownership strike them. But I was like, oh man, I felt duped. I was like, holy crap, this is what I feel like a boomer who steps on the internet would do. And I felt like a boomer today, Grumpy.
Well, I am a boomer and I knew that you shouldn't do it. You did it anyway. I said, you sure we shouldn't do this first and hold off on that? No. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm TJ.
Grumpy, do you have your light on? Doesn't look like you've got your light on.
Oh, yeah, I don't have my light on. It's true.
Let's go ahead and blind you, Grumpy. I just no, there it is. There it is, Grumpy. Oh, man. A lot of Islanders news to talk about today, Grumpy.
Yeah.
Josh Bailey.
I thought you wanted to talk about the absolute failure of Lou Lamoriello.
No, there's no failure of Lou Lamoriello. First off, yes, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But Josh Bailey had a fantastic, again, first good game of the season, best night of the season so far for him. Had a fantastic Sunday evening game against the Vegas Golden Knights. Again, the goal wasn't, you're not going to be putting that on a highlight reel anytime soon. But again, it was an effort goal and a nice pass and a good awareness dump off there to Matt Barzal, who was able to convert that into a goal to give the Islanders a 2-0 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, thank you, Ilya Sorokin. Thank you. Because without him, we don't win that game. If Varlamov is in that, we lose that game on Sunday. No doubt in my mind. He made saves that just him being athletic was able to make those saves. He's been excellent. And I didn't think he was poor the first couple of games. I know I caught a lot of heat for that. Grumpy old man, you're stupid. He sucks. I'm like, no, it's the defense has been hideous. And like I said, the kids, and remember I said, everyone was saying, he's got to steal you game. Well, he just stole you one Sunday night. Just stole you one.
He did have a fantastic night. No doubt about it. An excellent night. Again, he's looked, remember we talked about, hey, how is Sorokin going to step up? Even though, what has he got, like a 3-some-odd goals against average? The guy's got a .933 save percentage. Hey, he has been good this season. Again, when the defense hasn't left him out high to dry, Elias Sorokin has looked good this season.
Because he's an excellent goalie. He's an excellent goalie. The defense has been what the problem is, honestly. It wasn't a goaltending play. I mean, okay, he wasn't making, as many highlight level saves that he made against Vegas. Okay. But the fact is the defense was horrible. The gap control was miserable, and that's why he got lit up. It's not anything that he was doing. It was the team in front of him. And here's the thing. We really weren't great against Vegas either, but he was sensational. And, lucky for us, honestly. Congrats. We got ourselves a win. We're 3-0-2 now. 3-2-1. And, still not a playoff team, but that's okay.
It's early in the season. What do we say, Grumpy? What do we say? I don't know what you're looking at or what you're trying to do, Grumpy, but
I'm trying to prepare for something for this podcast that I just haven't pulled up yet. But don't worry, it'll get there. You just keep talking. It'll be all right.
Okay, Grumpy. I could tell you just like, anytime you're trying to multitask, you're over here trying to stare at. It's kind of funny. It's really hard for me. Anyway, that being said, Grumpy old man, he did have a fantastic evening. Sorokin, unbelievable on Sunday. And really, for the most part, you look at it, he should already have 3 shutouts on the season. You look at the game where we went ahead and surrendered a goal in the last 30 seconds because the defense fell apart. I mean, Sorokin has been fantastic so far to start the season. I'll say it again. I said it here the first portion, earlier on, podcast before, and I'll say it again. I really don't care too much about the wins and losses per se right now. I care about how we're playing. What are things that are encouraging that we're seeing? Number one, I'm sorry. I'll let you take it, Grumpy, if you're going to give me some encouraging things that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, okay. You have to win games. You got to get points. I mean, yeah, it's okay. And here's the thing. We're not playing well yet. I mean, let's see. The teams we beat have 2 wins between them through what? 15, 18 games.
Is that what you're trying to add up? How many wins the opposing teams have?
No, I'm just saying we're not playing well, but at least we're getting points, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. We're getting points. You need points because there are going to be times during the season when we are playing well and the other team plays like garbage and we're going to wind up, their goal is going to win a game for them. You're going to, those are 2 points we lost. Well, and it happens. So we're able to get points against lesser teams when we're not playing as probably as good as we're going to play during the season. And there's nothing wrong with that. They all count. And, I just don't like when you say the points don't matter. Well, they do matter because at the end of the day, it's the amount of points that get you into the playoffs.
I'm not saying the points don't matter. I said right now.
You just said that earlier.
I'm not. It's what I tell you. I'm not fixated on how many points or how many wins the Islanders are getting right now. I care more about the play, how we're looking, how is the system, how is the defensive structure looking. That is more what I care about right now. The points will come. We're always a team that starts off a little slower, and again, through 6 games, we're 3-2-1. Mind you, these are all road games. We talked about it. Out of the 13-game road trip, if you come out with a winning record, we said beforehand, before the season started, if you come out with a 7-5-1 record on the 13 games on the road, that is a freaking W. That's a win. That is fantastic. And we're well on our way to be on that. Given again, we've beaten some teams that are down our luck, but guess what? They're all NHL caliber teams. They all play in the NHL. So I'm not gonna, it's outstanding goaltending. I will say, nice to see Josh Bailey start waking up a little bit as well. And what do you?
Has he really woken up? I want to give him credit. I wore the shirt today. I thought you were going to comment on the shirt.
I was about to say, Grumpy, the shirt, it almost looks like it's brand new. I wonder if you ever washed that thing.
I do wash it every time I wear it. But the whole thing is Josh Bailey doesn't score much. And that's the only time I wear the shirt is if Josh Bailey scores. So as you can know, it does not get much use. Like this time, I think I had to clear the spider webs off it and the dust because it had been put in cold storage, shall we say.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Grumpy.
And I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the Bailey apologists. I know they're coming, right? Oh, grumpy old man. What do you think about Josh Bailey now? Okay, so he's played one good game in 6, and that's what you want for a guy making $5 million a year? Okay.
Before I let you continue prattling on and on and on, Grumpy, there's something important. I'm calling to action all the listeners and the people who enjoy this podcast. It is pertinent that you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. Again, this is a podcast we do every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every single Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That being said, anytime there's an Islander game, we go live right after the Islander game. For example, the Islanders are playing at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. That means we'll be going live right after the Islander game. But it is crucial that you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. More to come for that later. That being said, Grumpy, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Now, you said you feel like you're going to be eating a crow. Is that right? Because, hey, Josh Bailey, you call out Josh Bailey. You talk about how poor he's done. And then here's the best game so far of the season.
Okay. So it's one game, and let's throw a parade for Josh Bailey. Why? I want to give him credit for one thing. On that little tap-in goal that he had nothing to do with, at least he ventured away from his comfort zone. What is this? Oh, that's cute. Very cute.
You like that one? I figure
you got to make the crow thing bigger, though, honestly.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. Let's give him credit. He did venture away from his comfort zone, which is holding on to the sideboards like, a mom for the first time she's skating with their kids. So, that's kind of what he looks like. And he did venture away. He did go into a danger zone 5 foot from the net. So I want to give him credit for that. I'm not giving him credit for the Barzal goal. Not at all. Sorry. Oh, there you go.
You like that one better, Grumpy? No. I want to keep hearing. What else did Josh Bailey do well?
I get distracted by the picture. It looks like a rat.
This is the grumpy old man eats some crows segment to where he's going to talk well of Josh Bailey's last game. I enjoy this, Grumpy. I just did. You heard about as positive as you're going to get from me from Josh Bailey from the last game. Here's the thing. I expect to hear from the callers. Oh, what a grumpy old man, Josh Bailey. Look, what do you think now? Okay, so he got 2 points. He got a tap in goal. Good for him. He did venture away from the boards. And then he gets a typical Josh Bailey assist where Matt Barzal does all the work, all of it. And he just banged the puck off the boards. And Barzal brings the puck into the zone, loses it momentarily. Bailey trips and stumbles. Where is he? Where he feels most comfortable, holding onto the sideboards. He was able to chip the puck off the board. Barzal takes it, does everything his own, and has a highlight reel goal. And you, Grumpy, I need you to calm down and speak a little more. You're like speaking in half sentences right now because you're trying to go so quick, man.
Okay. Josh Bailey sucks, and he's jackpot lucky that for as poor as he played, he got elevated to the first line.
Okay,
it was for him.
Give the man his credit. It was a good pass. It was
not a good pass. It wasn't a good pass. He just chipped it off the boards. Matt Barzal did everything else.
He chipped it off the boards, avoiding the defender.
You know what he is? Like when you hear the name, let's think of a name. I don't know, like one of those hyphenated names. Like, I don't know. Give me one. I'm sure you know. Give me a hyphenated name.
Jean Gabriel Pageau.
Okay. Jean Gabriel Pageau. You want to know what Josh Bailey is? He's the little hyphen in between the Gabriel and the Pageau. That's the extent of help that he had on that goal. So it counts as a point. It's a typical Josh Bailey point. Didn't directly lead to a goal. It was the individual brilliance of Matt Barzal. There are other players in the league who also have individual brilliance that we could have had on this team.
Don't worry. We'll bring that up later, Grumpy old man. We will. Do not rush. Do not fret, Grumpy. I will say, though, right? It was a good play. It was a good play. Josh Bailey, you'll be happy to know, is tied for the team league in points.
He leads the team in points. He's not even tied.
He's the leader of the team in points. That's what I thought. You told me I was wrong earlier, so I went with you. But he's the leader of the New York Islanders in points, Grumpy old man. That's why we've got this nice image for you.
Okay.
Oh, baby. Let me ask you, Grumpy.
I have a question for you.
I was critical of Josh Bailey. I think he's average. I think he's, a little bit less than you'd want as a second line guy, a fantastic third line right winger. That's just my opinion on the guy. Go ahead.
He's playing on your first line.
I know.
He's Leo Komarov. He's the new Leo Komarov. There is no difference.
Oh, man. I know that you'll be happy that Josh Bailey is also 10th leading scorer in Islanders history, right? Passing Mr. Islander, passing Bobby Nystrom himself.
How many years has Josh Bailey? How many games? Over 900 some odd games. He's got what, 400 points, something like that. That's not real impressive. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
To me, it's not.
Hold on. I understand you're going to diminish him. That's your job, right? You diminish anything that looks positive on the Islanders. That being said,
no, just on Josh Bailey.
Oh my goodness gracious, Grumpy.
I just saw a comment pop up over here, and thank you very much, Andrew L. I'm going to say we will touch on that.
Okay, Grumpy. I want you to stay focused, Grump.
That's why TJ won't let me look at the comments. I'm surprised he hasn't put me on lockdown when it comes to the comments. I snuck one in. I was able to sneak to see one.
Oh man. So I want you to look at this, Grumpy old man, and to tell me that you do not think this is a good play and pass by Josh Bailey. I think it is, man. I don't see where the discrepancy is, right? Let's break this down. Josh Bailey causes a turnover, notices that Matt Barzal is breaking there.
Are you supposed to be showing this?
Oh goodness. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. It didn't pop up immediately. Thanks, Grumpy.
I'm sure we don't want to take your word for it.
So here we go. Boop. Josh Bailey wins the puck along the boards, right? Stops the headman pass there that the Vegas Golden Knights are trying to have. This is midway through the third period, right? He puts the dagger. He essentially helps supplement the dagger in the Vegas Golden Knights. Here
comes the hyphen. Here comes the hyphen. Here it comes.
Notice, right? Look at his head. He's got his head. He's looking. He sees Matt Barzal.
Now looks like he's looking for the bench going, Mommy, he's coming to hit me. What should I do? Josh, just dump it down the wall and escape. Caramel ice cream guy, you.
So what does he do, right? He notices Matt Barzal is breaking towards the net. He banks it off. Boop. Banks it off the boards there for Matty B. And Matty B does the rest. Holy shit. Talk about a shot.
Matty B does it all. Matty B did it all.
Oh man. You talk about the toy department. Oh, baby. Babe.
Beautiful
That's
shot.
in the toy department.
Only guy on the team who's capable of doing that. Only guy. On a consistent basis. You get lucky sometimes, Scott Mayfield, able to pop one of those in. But for the most part, he's the only guy who can do it. From an angle like that, getting it. And I thought Robin Leonard looked terrible Sunday night.
And you think about this. Think about the angle it is, and then Krebs' stick is right there on Matt Barzal too. Great play, great pass by Bailey, and this is a contested shot. This is a hell of a shot by Matt Barzal.
Okay, it wasn't a great pass. He just chipped it off the boards. It wasn't a great pass. A guy came at it. He just chipped it dry, was dumping it lower. Barzal did it all. I mean, like I said, he's a hyphen. He's the hyphen. That's what he is.
He's the hyphen. Oh, goodness gracious. Come on, though, Grumpy.
No, he gets no credit for that from me. I gave him credit for the goal because he actually went towards the net, which is highly unusual. And he did shoot only for the 5th time all year. He's only had 5 shots on goal all year. Josh Bailey, top line winger, 5 shots on goal all year in 6 games. Impressive. With power play time, no less. Multiple minutes on power play time. You
can also say though that Josh Bailey being 10th, I don't care how you try to go ahead and cut it, how you try to frame it. I'll say it. I'll said it before and I'll say it again. Josh Bailey, a little below average to a mediocre second line right winger. He's a very good third line right winger. That being said, being 10th all time for the Islanders in scoring is something that is a hell of an accomplishment. I know he's no Bobby Nystrom. Trust me, I'm not trying to compare him to Bobby Nystrom.
Just did earlier.
Accomplishment.
He beat up Bobby Nystrom, Mr. Islander. See, I don't know why you're trying to provoke me with this Josh Bailey stuff today. I was willing to say something nice, and then you anger me. I don't know why you do it.
You're wearing your Josh Bailey shirt. I figured you'd be a super fan of Josh Bailey.
Because I said whenever he scored, I'm going to wear the shirt. I know it looks like it's brand new. I understand.
Oh,
I know his thing. I know I don't have to worry about washing it for a while after Sunday night.
Oh, good gracious, Grumpy. Oh man. Now, what you're talking about is it looks like somebody's shoulder is doing well. Now, Grumpy, whose shoulder is doing well, do you think? Right? We heard all off season long. And here's the thing, right? I think we got to break it down to 2 segments. I think Vladimir Tarasenko definitely was on a trade block this offseason. Just looking at what the reports were. That being said, we heard a lot. Hey, people didn't like the medicals. They didn't like this. They didn't like that. That being said, man, oh man, the guy is. You want to talk about he. He is not going any damn where. The St. Louis Blues and him, it's
Look
crazy.
at this. Is Josh Bailey doing that?
Okay, Grumpy, I don't need you to interrupt me to say, look at what's on the screen. Thank you very much. Anyway, that being said, Grumpy, before you disrupted me, Vladimir Tarasenko, it's crazy what scoring some goals and winning games could do to a relationship between a player and an organization. Vladimir Tarasenko doesn't look like he's having a bad time out there. I'm sure they're getting along. Thick as thieves, per se, Grumpy.
Yep. And I love this video because if you see at the beginning, Josh Bailey was involved in this play too. I'll show you where. Right there, that pass coming through that was chipped out of the zone, and he'll get an assist, a primary assist, but it's all Tarasenko. Okay, everyone, and we know who they are. Many, many people all around the internet, many people who call into this podcast. We don't need Tarasenko. We don't need him. Definitely not. Why would we want him? The medicals are bad. No one's going to trade for him. Yeah. What did I say? What did the grumpy old man say? If you want to contend for a Stanley Cup, be a real contender, you got to get a sniper to play with Barzell. Look at that. And I said, I was willing to roll the dice with this guy because he's a truly elite talent. And you're seeing it right here. I hate always being right.
Well, here's the thing. We were always in big support of that. And again, he's off to a good start. Hell, he could go ahead and fade out and not score another goal or have another assist for the next 10 games. That being said, he's got 3 goals, 3 assists through 5 games so far in the season last time I checked. And maybe, I'm not sure if they played against his last time I've checked. He's had a good season. He looks hella healthy, and I'll be honest with you, he's not going anywhere at the trade deadline. St. Louis, they're off to a freaking magma hot start this season.
Yeah, well, good for them, right? I mean, all I know is that he was there for the taking, and Lou Lamoriello didn't have the guts to make the move. Just didn't have the guts.
Is that what really you attributed to? Didn't have the guts?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you wanted to make this team a winner, he said it for 3 years, both he and Barry. We need more scoring. We need a sniper. Well, here's the thing. There was a guy available on the cheap. Why? Because he had an injury. And you would not pull a trigger on a team that's all in to win this year.
Here's my question too. Let's assume even he wasn't there on the cheap. And I'll also say this, right? We're only 4 or 5 games into the season for the St. Louis Blues, or however many games they played. That being said, you go tear his shoulder tomorrow. We have no earthly idea. I'm not wishing any ill will. I'm just saying it's a possibility. That being said, you really needed to go ahead and make a move for a guy like this.
That could happen to any player. Any player could get hurt at any time, right? Here's the thing. 2 straight game-winning goals for him too. I mean, say what you will. The guy's a gamer, and he plays in the hard areas too. He would have been perfect for us. Perfect.
Yeah, he would have. Again, not coming here. I can promise you, he's not leaving St. Louis. Doesn't matter what happened. I mean, they're extremely hot this season. He's not going anywhere. So, any type of Christmas wish items you had that included Vladimir Tarasenko, you can immediately write those off. Don't even bother putting that on the Christmas list. Don't bother, saying your prayers before you go to bedtime. Vladimir Tarasenko is not coming here this year. No way.
I don't think they're going to make a move for an offensive player.
I think we're going to make a move for a defenseman, left-handed defenseman.
Have to. Don't you think? Have to.
I do think that. Well, remember, we talked about this, game 2, game 3, the regular season.
Off season, I said the same thing. No one wanted to listen. Chara he's going to get the fountain of youth because he come back to the Islanders. Perfect for him returning. No, he can't play anymore. There's no crime in that. He's 44 years old. He can't skate anymore. He gets turned around. I mean, he can't do it. There's no harm in that. It just is what it is. That's on Lou Lamoriello. That's on him. Not getting a better player to play left-handed defense. That's on him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hold on, Grumpy. I'm going to have to ask you to stop here on this one. Now, we have cap constraints in order to fit under. What are you and about?
Signed every old player and their damn brother to come into the team this year. Let's re-sign everybody on a team that has never won anything. We have not won anything. I'm just saying. But that's what he chose to do. You had to improve the team. We didn't improve the team in the offseason. You want to take the next step, right? Don't you feel you have to improve the team?
Hold on.
Don't you think?
Hold on. I just told you we didn't have a lot of cap space. What type of top 4 left-handed defenseman were you expecting them to acquire?
I don't know if you're going to make a trade. Here's the thing: I'm not going to go back 2 years when they made the mistake with Letty and
Okay.
Taves. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
What you saying you're not going to do it? You just freaking did.
You have all these. Look at how many guys we signed in the offseason, right? How about instead of signing back Kyle Palmieri, we make the deal for Vladimir Tarasenko? How about we do that? And here's the thing: I think that Palmieri has played well. He's not Vladimir Tarasenko. Would that not be a move that you would?
Well,
I would take that move.
Why the Sam hell are you spending 15, 20 minutes talking about this? We hit it, man. It's not going to happen. Right? Don't you just spend 20 minutes every podcast saying,
you're the one. Here's the one. You're the one who brought up. You're the one who brought up. Well, we had cap constraints. Well, because you signed everybody and had everything on double secret probation, didn't want anybody to know how much you're spending because you're paying 3D chess and everybody else is playing checkers. No, because he didn't improve the team. Bottom line, he did not improve the team. Why
are you getting to that? Grumpy, I want you to go away from your talking points and actually think. We're going to, Grumpy, just get off the board.
Here's the thing. When I'm right all the time, why should I change my talking points? I'm right.
We're during the season. There's items to talk about, and here you are just hitting the same talking points you talk about all offseason. You sound like a broken political candidate.
It doesn't matter, but you're asking me a question, and I'm giving you an answer. You just don't like the answer.
No. I said we had cap constraints. I didn't ask you to answer anything. I just said we had cap constraints.
That's right, because he mismanaged the cap by re-signing everybody in the offseason when he didn't have to do it. That's what he did.
Really? Who did he re-sign that you would suggest we didn't have to re-sign that we would have been
Palmieri. Did not need to bring him back.
No. So you're
trying to sign everybody who's on the team.
So if we didn't sign back Kyle Palmieri, Grumpy, who's playing right now on a first/second line, and who would we have been able to give up? Stop. Who would have been able to give up for Tarasenko?
He was there for the taking. What you could have given up Bailey. They just didn't want. From what I right,
they didn't want to pay the money. So instead of getting rid, instead of going ahead and maybe trading for additionally an item like that, you would rather have a better defenseman and not have Kyle Palmieri on the team. Is that what I'm understanding? You would have had to have
yes, that's exactly what I would do. Because Vladimir Tarasenko is light years better than Kyle Palmieri.
We don't even know the price of what Vladimir Tarasenko was.
They said they were offering anybody. No one would take him. No one said the price was exorbitant. No one wanted to, right? Because of physicals. Or St. Louis didn't want to retain any money. Well, here's the thing. You could make it work. If you're such a genius, you should be able to make it work. I mean, there were ways to do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
You drive me nuts when you talk about the same points. We're talking about something happening now. And I'm saying, hey, terrific. He looks like he is playing well, ladies and gentlemen. Remember everybody was saying he was hurt? We don't need to spend 15, 20 minutes talking about that, man.
Okay. Here's the thing. I love talking about that point because it proves I'm right again. I love hearing myself talk about how great I am. It's fantastic. Makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah, thanks. Terrific. Excellent.
I have feelings,
We don't care about catering towards your feelings. That being said, Ross Johnston re-signs here with the New York Islanders. Now, why? I will give you the answer why. You're going to have to actually listen, though. And we're going to have to play the Grumpy. You had your listening ears. I feel like we're like in kindergarten. You had your listening ears. You ready?
I got them on. Let's hear it.
Okay. So they sign Ross Johnston. And here's the thing. They don't play him very much. I'm going to preface this with a few things. They don't play Ross Johnston, but maybe 20% of the games in the NHL. When they do play him, they play him like 6 to 10 minutes a night. So he's a spot here and there. He's not a guy who contributes long term, but they didn't want to have to fear losing Ross Johnston to waivers. They were afraid if they went to send him down or remove him from the Islanders organization, send him through waivers, that he was going to get claimed. You look at certain players. Phil's Facts went ahead and brought this up to me. Greason, a guy who was picked up by the Devils. I don't think he played but 2 games in his NHL career. He was claimed by the Devils because he could fight. People apparently have a hankering for some guy who's a fourth-line grinder who can beat and pummel the hell out of other players. They want some physicality on their team because the NHL is so devoid of it. They want to protect some of their talented players. So what did Lou Lamoriello do? Lou Lamoriello decided to extend Ross Johnston's contract by 4 years, thinking that if he goes ahead and moves him to waivers, no team in their right mind is ever going to claim Ross Johnston that now has an additional 4 years on his contract. And because it was under the certain threshold, it was under, I think it was 1.1 or 1.2. It was under 1.2 or 1.3 million, whatever the threshold is. He has no implication or negative ramifications on the NHL salary cap. So you can move him down to Bridgeport without any type of negative ramifications on the cap.
Okay. He does count towards your cap until he gets sent down to Bridgeport. Okay.
Hold on.
But why? Why? You got a guy who's played in 3 years, he's played 63 games with your team. What's the upside? Tell me what the upside of re-signing Ross Johnston is. And I love Ross Johnston. I want to clarify that. I love him. He got a Casey Cizikas deal here.
Upside, maybe you have more depth. That is here's the thing. I think this is a move with no downside, but very limited upside. The only people that have a downside are the owners, right? Because Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz, they now have the ability, if they ever need to have Ross Johnston, let's say something crazy happens, there's some COVID issues, the only way possible is maybe you have some depth chart, you'll have additional depth chart of pieces, but now you're going to be paying a guy 1.1 million to sit possibly down there in Bridgeport or to sit off of the NHL roster. But if they need to call him, they can, and they don't have to worry about him being claimed. So the only upside is depth, in my opinion. And how much depth? I think that's very questionable. I don't think Lou Lamoriello is a genius for this move. I think it's a good move. I think it's one, creative, and two, extremely unique. I will definitely classify the moves as those two items. I will not say he's a genius for this move. I think it's a good move, but it's more creative and unique than some sort of, mastermind move.
Well, I wish you would put more thought into getting a better left-handed defenseman or a top-scoring winger. Maybe that's what he should do, as opposed to trying to, somebody might take somebody on waivers. I mean, so what? If he gets, like I said, you played 63 games in 3 years. When he played up here this year, he gets less than 6 minutes of ice time. Why is he here? And I love Ross Johnston. Why is he here? It makes no sense to me. Now, let's say he does make the team. He counts 1.1 against your cap. If he's actually on the team, you do have to pay that money. And say, well, what if you lose him to waivers? You still got who? Richard Panik, who you could put in that spot. Michael Del Cole, who you could put in that spot. These are all other guys, more bottom six, bottom pairing guys. I mean, I don't know why he feels he needs to have so many of those guys on this team. I don't understand it. Get us some better talent up top. That's what the team needs. We don't need more grinders, more duplication of resources at the bottom of the roster. We need higher end talent.
So regarding the depth pieces, and again, this is one to where this is why I don't call him a genius. I think it was a very creative and unique move. You don't see it very often. I mean, it baffled a lot of people. Like when I first saw it, I didn't really think about the ramifications. I was like, re-signing 4 years, and I thought a little deeper. I'm like, okay, this is the reason why. And then Phil's facts let me know also. I'm like, okay, I do understand the thought process. But you talk about depth, right? You have depth pieces there. You've got your Michael Del Coles. You've got your Anatoly Golashevs. You've got your Leo Komarovs. You have your Panics. You've got Kiefer Bellows for however long he'll be here for. You have pieces that could possibly fill in and be suited for a depth piece that you could say, all right, I feel somewhat comfortable if somebody goes down and has a pulled hamstring or, hurts their groin or gets a strained hip flexor. I've got somebody out there that can come in that pinch. That being said, it's a move that doesn't have much upside, very limited upside, no downside, besides the owners have to pay another guy for a little longer for who might not be contributing on the NHL roster.
Now, here's the thing. These owners have proven that they are willing to spend. I love the owners. I think they're great. But let's say, Lou comes up to him. Yeah, we want to sign Ross Johnston to an extension here. It might put us over budget for this year or whatever, but we want to sign for 1.1. And then after a couple of years, they're like, hey, remember that guy, Ross Johnston, you made a sign for 4 years? What's he doing? Oh, he's playing down in Bridgeport for $1.1 million a year. Do you think when he says, well, hey, I need more money because I want to go after somebody better, they're going to say, well, what happened to that Ross Johnston money? I mean, we gave you money and you just sent it to Bridgeport. That's not what we're paying for. We need, I mean, I can see where an owner would say that. You're spending millions of dollars of my money for guys who aren't going to play on the roster when you have a whole glut of those guys hanging around. I even forgot about Lollipop. I mean, I even forgot about him. He's another one that is in the coach's favor. He certainly is more highly regarded by Barry Trotz than Ross Johnston.
Okay.
We don't know that.
That being said, you asked, our ownership is fantastic. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and do this. We're speaking very positively about the Islanders right here. So I know some people think we're a big old negative meanie show. That being said, I love the ownership.
Who cares what they think?
I don't. But again, I love the ownership. I absolutely love the ownership here. And this is not a move that's done, I'm sure, without Lou Lamoriello telling him. I do think there is some sort of communication. Even if there isn't, I don't think that Malkin and Ledecky are the type of guys that get too involved in it. They say, you're the general manager, you do the general managing. I'm the owner, so I do the owning. And you're the head coach, so you do the coaching. So, I mean, I think they keep that pretty segmented up, which is always good. Yeah, it's never good when the owner starts trying to get too much involved into the sport. You just provide the capital, and you make the money when we do well.
Let me give you a little insight on rich people. They don't like to give their money away. Okay? So the owner might, yes, they don't mind spending money to try to make the team a winner. But if they just see you pissing away to send it down to Bridgeport, they're not going to be too wise. They're not going to be, no, what the hell are you doing, Lou? You're showing everybody you're 78 years old.
No. Okay. Synopsis, though, of the move. I think it's a good move. I'm not as impressed as others. I don't understand you're playing chess where everybody else is playing checkers. This is a fantastic move. I think it's creative and unique. Good move, sure. Great, fantastic, genius, any of those things that are like I would classify as somebody who maybe I just am a little bit more stingy with the use of the word genius. I don't think genius necessarily classifies as the move of re-signing a player, Ross Johnston, to a 4-year deal, right? Think about Ross Johnston's situation. This type of move, it's so unique and creative. It only works for players that are on the verge of being tweeners between the NHL and the AHL. They say, here you go, Ross Johnston. We are now going to go ahead and guarantee you a contract for another 4 years. I mean, maybe you could play if you were to leave after this year. Maybe you can go to Buffalo or you can go to Detroit and play on the fourth line and maybe earn yourself a 2-year contract and see what you can do playing everyday minutes. But we're going to promise you a 4-year contract at $1.1 million a year. He says, oh, hell yeah, I'll take a 4-year contract. I'll cash in on that. That's what I think happened with it.
Okay. For those saying that it's genius, these are the same people who think that if you can breathe involuntarily, that makes you a genius. I'm sorry. It's not. I mean, don't be a Lou Lamoriello sycophant. Just don't do it. Look at it realistically. How does it help? How does it help the big team? Because that's all I care about. I don't care about Bridgeport. I don't care about it all. You keep on signing all these bottom 6 guys. Why another one? You're afraid you're going to lose a guy to waivers who isn't even good enough to play on opening night more than 5 minutes on your team.
That is a whole nother can of worms, right? And that's the thing, right? If you don't feel comfortable with him playing more than 6 minutes of ice time, I think it was the second game of the season. If you don't feel comfortable, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel comfortable with him playing more than 6 to 5 minutes of ice time a night, that's a guy that should be like, oh, this is like break glass in case of emergency type of player. And we've got a lot of other players that are the same exact type, right? You've got Leo Komarov, you've got Panik, you've got Anatoly Goloshev, who's playing well down there in Bridgeport. Again, the styles are a little different. But, for this year, our team is a physical team. I'm not too worried about the Islanders getting bullied. Now that you have Zdeno Chara, you automatically get bumped up about 3 or 4 levels when it comes to toughness. That's for certain. Nobody's going to mess around with Big Z on the ice. And Matt Martin's out here. 2 fights already this season?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, you look pretty good too.
Yeah. So, that's I don't think it's a genius move. I do think it's creative and unique. You don't see it very often. So I will give him hats off to that, but not genius. I'm sorry.
Being a wipe your butt from underneath between your legs, that's innovative too, but it's just not recommended and there's no benefit. That's the way I look at it.
Oh my goodness gracious! Here's something else, Grumpy.
What the heck? And here's the thing. I like Ross Johnston. Everyone on this podcast knows I like Ross Johnston, but it comes to the point that Barry doesn't like him. because he doesn't play and he never gets a chance. And that's not going to change. He's going to be Hosanged in the next few years.
Who?
Ross.
Why does it matter? I've
Because
always, here's the thing.
somewhere else and maybe
Hold on. Well, he could have not signed that extension. He signed the extension. You kind of, you sleep where you've made your bed, you sleep in it.
He took the money. I don't blame him. I mean, 4 years, $4.4 million for a guy who never even has to play. That's pretty good money.
Yeah, for a guy who literally gets called out there to be a physical aspect, to intimidate. And again, he occasionally puts one in the net. He's a guy who's, when he wins pucks along the boards, but he doesn't play very often. Hell, getting paid $4.4 million, and let's assume you play in like 20% of the games and you play 6 minutes a night, 6 to 10 minutes a night. Hey, you can find a lot worse gigs than that. That's for certain. So, hey, maybe could he have made more money in the short term if he tried to be a free agent and, go sign somewhere else? I'm sure he probably would have been waived. Somebody would have claimed him, and maybe he could have earned himself more money. But he took the safe bet by saying, I want a 4-year contract. I want the safety and security, and I want to play for a cup contender, because that's what matters to him. So it's all about priorities. He's still getting paid. That being said, Grumpy, we're going to move into some comments. Paulo C said, Grumpy, I don't know what happened to Bailey, but he is playing with more grit and determination. Maybe it's watching your podcast, so he's trying to prove you wrong.
Yeah, let's see how long he plays like that.
You'd be shocked how many people that you never would guess listen to the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. You would never guess in a million years. It's kind of funny. It's kind of comical, but you'd be shocked. Some of the people, some famous people who listen to the Islanders Never Say Die podcast, as shocking as it is, I was shocked too. But
if you're smart, you listen to this podcast. If you want to learn things about the Islanders, if you want to be fed the babble right from the team's mouth, come here. Because here's the thing. We're not like the other podcasts. We're not. We speak truth here. Okay? Not everything is great all the time. Okay? It's not. This team, facts, has not won anything under Barry Trotz. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No division title, no conference title, no Stanley Cup. We have not won anything. Okay? I want to win. I want to win. And if I think that we're not doing enough to put a winner on the ice, a team that can win a Stanley Cup, I'm going to call them out on it. Some people don't believe in that. I do.
I hate when you say winning a division or winning, a conference title. I can care less about that. All I care about is the cup. I can care less if we
didn't win the cup either.
Okay, that's the only one I care about is the cup, to be honest.
Okay, so we've won nothing then. You agree with me?
No, I don't think we have. Now, let me ask you this. There are some fans out there that think, and again, you see this, it's just different ideologies. And they say, guys, I feel like Islander fans are spoiled, right? We've had a lot of rough, dark time periods. And now we have, this great burst, this renaissance of success. And I feel like people are spoiled, right? They forget what we used to be. They forget about the cellar dweller that we were. So I feel like they're spoiled. We've watched ourselves, become a Cinderella story overnight and win games magically all of a sudden, and people have become spoiled.
I don't think they're spoiled. I think that they're just happy that the Islanders have been losing for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, hey, we've made the playoffs for a number of years in a row, because that's never happened before. And we've won a couple of playoff rounds. That hasn't happened in forever. So they're still in, hey, we're great. No. The
people who are grumpy, people who are spoiled in this situation are the people who are wanting the Islanders to win a cup. They're spoiled. They forgot where we were beforehand, and they forgot about the struggles the team has had. And now that we've become good, they've forgotten that we were bad. So they're thinking that those fans are spoiled. These fans that are wanting to win the cup, these fans are spoiled because we have been successful for our organization compared to years in the past. So they're thinking those fans are spoiled, and therefore they want more. They're spoiled brats.
I don't know who those fans are. They sound dopey to me.
I was just wondering what your thought process on that was, but you completely flip-flopped the individuals. So I was like, all right, we'll move along.
Okay, they don't sound really bright. Your goal should be win the Stanley Cup every year. That should be your goal. I don't care how good or how bad your team is. That should be your goal. If that makes me spoiled because I think we should win a Stanley Cup or we should be striving to win a Stanley Cup, then I'm spoiled. How about that?
You're spoiled, Grumpy. Paulo C said, Sorokin again. We will hear his name all year.
Do you think Sorokin plays Saturday night against Nashville because Varlamov will be back?
Ooh, baby, coming with the questions, Grump. That's one we had to talk about too, right? Varlamov been activated off the IR. He's ready to go. Here's the thing. There's no way in hell you take the net from Sorokin. It would be freaking criminal. It'd be criminal. I don't care how bad Varlamov's like, hey, coach, man, my groin, my day-to-day injury, it's feeling great, dude. I need to get out there on you. Barry, I need to get out there on the ice. That loss we had in Game 7 against Tampa has just been weighing on me hard. I need to get back out there. I need to play. I don't care what the hell he's telling you in your ear. Do not take Sorokin out of the net.
I don't think he's even has to talk in his ear. I'll be interested to see if it's. And I'm not gonna say, in my heart of hearts, I'm going to say he plays Varlamov on Saturday afternoon. I don't think he should, but I think he will. Because, right, we don't have another game for another 4 days after that.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, like, what is he? I could definitely see him playing Varlamov. Again, because you think about it, right? The Nashville Predators, they're not necessarily a world beater squad. So here you go. Here you go, Varlamov. Go ahead and get you out there, get your legs loose, get your bearings underneath you. Because if that's the case, right, Sorokin comes out there, has another spectacular game. You could be looking for another 2 games at least before Varlamov gets a crack at net.
My whole thing is he's not the best goalie on the team. That's why he shouldn't start. Sorokin is a better goalie than Semyon Varlamov. He just is. Sorry. All the Varley fans out there, Varlamov, I like him. He's solid. The Sorokin kid is special. You saw that on Sunday night. You didn't see it on Saturday night because he really wasn't tested in that shutout against Arizona for the most part. But you saw it on Sunday night. That kid can steal you games. His athleticism is second to none in the net. Those are the type of saves that Hasek was making in his prime. I'm not saying he's Dominic Hasek, okay? But I'm just saying he has that level of athleticism in net. You don't see it very often. The kid is spectacular.
I was about to say, yeah, and you talk about it. I mean, 42 saves.
And one other thing.
He was tested. He was tested too, wasn't he? Yeah, I think that's right. He was tested, Grumpy.
He was so politically. He was so positionally sound in net. Limited movement, his side to side. He was so perfect. And he went out there and he challenged the skaters on some shots. He was so good that side to side doing the splits that should have. If Varlamov's in net, that's a goal. Okay, I'm glad you have it right here. If Varlamov is in net, that's a goal. He never gets across, never, not in a million years, because it's no criticism of Varlamov. He's just not as athletically talented as Sorokin is. Sorokin's able to do that. Varlamov isn't.
So let's break this play down from the start, Grumpy. What do we see here in the situation? It's a 3-on-3 right here, guys. One of these defensemen is Noah Dobson. Another one is Big Z's Zdeno Chara. Let's just take a look, see what happens here. Okay. Uh-oh.
Looks like Beauvillier is coming down to help out.
And what we got here
just walks right by.
Dobson trying to go ahead and cut and intercept the pass. But look at this by Z.
Chara just lets a guy skate right by him.
What the hell, Big Z? Unless you were expecting Noah Dobson here to take the man streaking down the middle.
He didn't even move his skates.
So
Chara didn't even move his skates.
Maybe Chara was expecting to get the late trailer. But again, I don't know. Right here, I don't know. It's an odd situation, right? Because if this is a goal given up, this is all Big Z's fault, I think.
He doesn't move his feet. I mean, he can't move his feet anymore.
If it's not for a fantastic save by Sorokin, that's in the net. But hey,
yeah,
Sorokin, fantastic.
To me, he was all 3 stars on Sunday. All 3 stars.
Rob L said Grump needs to make his show more fun and with some positivity. The negative vibe is a major turnoff and not enjoyable.
We're entertaining, Rob. You have to admit that. And I did say some positive things
I
today.
love how he says Grump needs to make this show. Oh, Grump needs to make this show. I thought you said Grump needs to make his show. I'm like, Grumpy, this is your show, buddy.
No, it's not. It's not. Well, it is, but it's not.
It is your show, Grumpy. Andrew L said Sorokin, our savior.
He was fantastic. He was fantastic. I didn't think we were going to get any points against Vegas, but then they showed the injury list. So you undersold the injury list.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You said guaranteed. Hold on, Grumpy. Hold on. Let me pull up that picture again. You said guaranteed that the Islanders, they lose. Guaranteed because Vegas can skate.
And I also said that 1 point, if we got 1 point out of that game, would be a victory for us. Yep, I said that. But here's the thing. You only told me that they were missing 3 players. They were actually missing 7. That makes a little bit of a difference. And still, they outplayed us by a ton. We were absolutely dominated in that game again. Okay? And that's what you said. You care how we look? We didn't look good. Thank God we have Ilya Sorokin in net. That's all I'm going to say. He stole us 2 points. Good for us. Too bad for Vegas.
So who else was injured? I thought, again, I didn't pay too close attention.
Alex Took was hurt. I don't have the list. They put the list.
I knew ahead of time Patch Ready. I knew Alec Martinez, as well as I knew Stone. I knew those 3. The big 3 were out. But again,
Alex Took was out, and another defenseman and another wing.
Hey, you take your wins any way you can get them.
And I'm going to tell you what.
Who's healthy and who's not.
Were you impressed with Robin Leonard? I wasn't. I thought he was terrible. I know he only gave up 2 goals, but he was spitting out rebounds like they were chiclets. Like a Pez machine. Well, he did not look good. I'm glad we didn't keep him. He's regressed. He has regressed since he left the coaching of Korn and Greco.
Okay, but who's to say that he wouldn't still be playing well?
But he's not.
Long story short, we lost Leonard in order to bring in Sorokin. And I think Sorokin's a far superior goalie than Robin. And I love Robin Leonard, but I think Sorokin's got one of those abilities to be a top 5 goalie in the NHL. I really do.
No, he left to bring in Varlamov. And Varlamov, let me tell you something. You want some positivity? You want some positivity, Rob L? Here's the thing. Our goaltending coaching staff is phenomenal. They are phenomenal. They can turn me and you, well, maybe not you, Rob, but me into an all-star caliber
goalie. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh,
there you go. There's some fun for you. There's some positivity. Yeah,
positivity. I love it. Well, Grumpy, let me ask it to you like this. So I think that the reason we brought in Varlamov was just to bring in Sorokin. So in turn, right, we had to let Leonard go so we can bring in Varlamov to bring in Sorokin. So we virtually had to let Leonard go to bring in Sorokin.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the move. I thought that Varlamov's term was too long, as usual. 5 years was too long.
Well, you know what? He's still playing at a very, very high level as of right now, so it hasn't bit us in the ass. Frank Catty said Quenneville shouldn't be coaching tonight's game. Kevin Weeks is right. Bettman should be ousted now. He's a disgrace. Swept it under the rug, that piece of shit he is. Now, what I am going to sound really, really, really uninformed because there's been so much we've been handling with making sure that the shirts are going off well and getting everything done on that side. I mean, like, it's been hours every single day making sure that, hey, we've got everything down to a T, so when it goes up, we're good to go. But I haven't had enough time to read in depth about what's happening with Quenneville and what's happening with the NHL in this situation.
This is with the Chicago Blackhawks. Back in 2011, I believe it was. Their trainer was, I guess, sexually harassing Kyle Beach, a failed player from years and years ago.
I remember Kyle Beach. Was he a forward?
Yes.
Okay.
And
first round pick, I think, too.
Yes. I think number 6 in the draft, I believe he was. And he came out this afternoon, actually, as the John Doe of the guy who was being, I guess, his name. I don't like to read about stuff like that, but he was like sexually doing something to Kyle Beach, harassing him, abusing him. I don't know. Like I said, I don't find any pleasure in reading stories like that, so I just don't. Okay, some type of sexual misconduct with their trainer. And Scotty Bowman, Scotty Bowman's son, I don't know if his name is Scott also. He resigned from the Blackhawks yesterday. I think his assistant resigned. He also resigned from the U.S. hockey team general managership. Now they're questioning Quenneville, and Beach is coming out and saying that, well, Quenneville had to know. You know what, Sunshine? Unless you told him, don't say that he had to know, because you're just kind of supposing. That said, if Quenneville is involved from something that happened 10 years ago under his watch, is he going to lose his job in Florida? I have no idea.
So
that's what Frank is talking about.
So if he had some sort of sexual harassment, I guarantee you, if Quenneville knew about it, he will lose his job. And again, I have no idea how serious it was. I mean, I feel like sexual harassment now is like if you make a bad joke towards somebody. But again, I don't know. I have no idea about the story yet. We've been doing a lot of Islander stuff here, a lot of podcast stuff for ourselves. So I haven't had a chance too much to read into what's going on with that.
I mean, and you look at Chicago, right? So what are the owners, the Wirtzes, doing? Well, they're going to throw everybody else under the bus. I'm sorry. So he told somebody, he had told a coach about this issue and this situation, and then it just kind of fizzled out and nothing happened. There were sexual misconduct allegations filed against a former assistant trainer. And I guess everyone supposedly within the team, everybody knew, but it didn't seem like it was a big deal when they were talking about it earlier. And maybe because the guys were just able to handle it in-house. I don't know. Like I said, I don't find that type of salacious behavior something I even want to read about. Honestly, it's just not something I'm interested in. So, but supposedly this trainer, and forgive me, I've forgotten his name, was Kyle Beach, was the guy who filed these claims after the fact against this guy. And they're saying that Chicago tried to sweep it under the rug, and they very possibly might have been. Remember, that's a time when they were winning cups.
I was about to say, here's the thing, right? I not knowing anything about the story, I'm going to make I'm going to make one of those statements. Not knowing anything about the story, what do teams love to do? If they have any type of controversy and their team's winning, well, holy shit, man, we can't stop the victory machine. We can't stop the cash cow. We can't stop the money that's coming in. We've got to make sure. Oh, Penn State. Oh, man, he's doing what with kids? Hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. We're competing for national championships. We can't, oh God, we can't let this be known. We can't let this go ahead and derail our chances for national championships. Hold on a second, guys. What's going on with the Washington Redskins? What's going on with the Washington football team? Oh, hold on. We can't let that be known. We're competing. We're making big money. We can't possibly, interrupt the cash cow that is our franchise and our team, because if there is something wrong going on, we can't go ahead and make that known at the time here. I will say something. If there was real, again, I don't know what. Again, I know you haven't read on it too. I don't know what the sexual harassment was. I don't know how severe it was, but if it was bad, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You can't let people who have that type of attitude still roam around.
Okay. It was 10 years ago. Times are different.
Hold on.
Okay. Listen, let me finish. Maybe that's why he kept his job, because I don't even know if he was fired. Certainly he wasn't fired immediately, but he kept his job. But times are different 10 years ago. Now, that wouldn't even happen. It wouldn't even happen now, because that guy would be gone.
Well, I'm glad. I'm
not making an excuse. I'm not making an excuse.
I'm glad now that stuff like that wouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. So here, right. Beach told investigators that Aldrich threatened him with a souvenir baseball bat before forcibly performing oral sex on him and masturbating, allegations that he also detailed in his lawsuit. Oh my God. No, dude, I'm sorry. Here's the thing. He was an 18-year-old at the time period. Here's the thing, man.
He was older than 18 back then, was he not?
No, this was happened when he was this happened to him in 2000. No, I'm sorry. This happened, I think, in 2008, 2001. I don't know. Oh no, 2010. So 2010. But I think this happened when he was a rookie or very young. He was still a young individual. Here's the thing, man. Oh God. Oh no, this occurred on May 8th or May 9th of 2010. Ooh, 20 years old. Ooh.
Oh, right when they're competing for the cup. Okay. Yeah.
So right when they're look at that. Right when we're competing for the Stanley Cup, guys. Something comes out. Hey, oh God. Hey, John Quenneville. There's something happened. Joe Montanaz threatened Kyle Beach to beat him over the head with a souvenir baseball bat, and then they performed some sort of sexual
Those souvenir baseball bats are not very big.
Maybe he was using one of the life size, well, the big ones. Hey, man, you can get some real torque on that thing. Maybe it could hurt. I'm going to tell you one thing.
I'm not going to comment on what happened.
I don't know if John Quinville knows about that, but if he does,
it's Joel. John Quinville might know about it. I don't know if Joel Quinville knows about it.
Sorry. Oh man. Joel Quinville. I'm sorry, Grumpy.
Alan Quinville also heard about it.
You think the Quinville brothers started talking about it?
Even Uncle Quinville. They all know that.
Uncle Quinville. Oh man. Yeah, Joel Quinville. Go ahead.
I don't know.
I tell you one thing. If that is true, why would he have the reason to lie about that 10 years later down the road?
So he went to someone. Here's the thing. Like I said, I heard about it and I'm like, I'm just not into reading about stuff like that.
I don't like reading about that. I think this was kind of like the abridged version. So this is just like the quick one in one sentence what happened. I don't want to hear all the details on that either. I don't blame you. It's hard to listen to. It's hard. I don't want to imagine it. It's tough. It's tough to imagine that happened to somebody else.
Yeah. And it's happened in hockey before. Theo Fleury, right? Was when he was a young boy, was sexually abused by Graham James, who was a fantastic hockey coach in Canadian juniors years and years ago. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Beach told people right away. Like I said, I haven't been following because I'm just not, like I said, again, not into reading about stuff like that. Any type of sexual allegation stuff, because it's so far off of my radar, or, it's not something I even identify with in any way, shape, or form.
I'll tell you too. That's one of those things. I could definitely imagine someone trying to conceal that, because you do not want. If you, I don't even want to know what type of. I don't think anybody would pick on them, but like I feel like people would look at me different if I'm like, oh yeah, I just had to blow the coach because he threatened to beat me with a baseball bat over the head and knock me out or whatever it was. Well, so
then you go to the coach right there and say, "This is what happened, coach."
No, I could. Okay.
And then see what the coach does, because then the coach knows. I don't know. It sounds like he didn't. Okay. They talked to Taves. A couple of the players is like, oh, yeah, everybody kind of knew he was kind of like that, or something like that, to that effect, where it doesn't surprise them. I mean, I guess they all handled it differently than Kyle Beach did. But I mean, if that's this guy,
the sexual act on the guy, yeah, I'm sure they all handled it differently than he did.
But what I'm saying is, if you went to the head coach or somebody and said, this happened to me, and the guy didn't follow up, then you got to move it up the chain of command. I'm sorry. And I don't know. I don't know what he did. Maybe he did and people are ignoring it. But it sounded like to me that he didn't go to Quinville and say anything. I mean, because to me, the guy should be fired right away. I mean, if you're telling somebody, that guy should be fired immediately. And if they're not, I mean, it's not the GM's fault. That's got to fall on the coach, I guess.
Here, I'm gonna play another devil's advocate. This might be one of those things where everybody covered it up the line. They said, "Oh, he kind of."
Then they all deserve to go, and I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, right. If that's the case, yeah, Joe Quinville does deserve to go down the line for certain. But that's one of those things I'll be interested to see what happens, because it wasn't until today that they released, I think, the actual allegations. So this was like a few hours ago. So.
Okay, then maybe, like I said, everything seemed vague, and I wasn't interested in reading it. But you know what? Doesn't that then make the owners culpable also? Because you don't think that got up to the owners? Hey, we got Johnny, equipment manager, there doing some inappropriate stuff with some of the players, or one player. What do you want us to do? I don't know. But they're in damage control in Chicago.
It's a bad look for the NHL. Very, very bad look for the NHL. That's not something the NHL can afford, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm not saying the NHL is to blame here, unless somehow Bettman knew. If Bettman knew, yeah, then Bettman's got to go, right?
Yeah, so I'll be very interested. Would it shock me at all if they escalated this up the ladder and said, "Hey, there was some horseplay, somebody kind of threatened to do something," or whatever the hell, however they explained it, and they escalated this to Bettman. They say, "Hey, what should we do? That we haven't heard of this before. What should be, how we handle this situation? Maybe this is a Bettman thing all the way down. I have no idea. Would it shock me at all, though, because the team's winning, because they're doing well, they're competing for Stanley Cups, right? Because in 2009 they won the cup, didn't they?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's just a freaking equipment manager. Don't tell me that equipment manager is so important to your team winning a Stanley Cup.
He was not an equipment manager, for the love of fucking God.
What was he?
Grumpy. He was a guy. He was a trainer.
So a masseuse?
No, you Jesus.
Well, the trainers are a freaking dime a dozen.
Oh my God. Maybe they're like, I don't know.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what his job was. If he's doing something like that against somebody's will, he should go. I mean, I don't understand.
Of course. I'm just saying, you're like, okay, I'm just saying the guy, it wasn't like it was a guy who packed up skates. So maybe it was a guy who they felt like they needed on the team. I have no idea. I don't know how it was explained. We'll figure out more and more. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for the NHL though, right?
Okay. If you're a business owner and you find out that somebody is having someone perform sexual acts on them with a souvenir baseball bat in their hand, what are you going to say? Hey, okay, Johnny, don't worry about it. Maybe he'll bring something else. Like, no, you get rid of that guy. I mean, you can't let that guy go on, even though it was 10 years ago. I mean, if he brought the allegation to somebody, I don't know what he did. Yeah. Like I said, I'm ignorant to the facts when it comes to that, what Kyle Beach did. I don't know. But bottom line, he had to go. I mean, somebody had to say something. How long did it take? Did he wait years? I don't know. Don't know enough about it.
Scott L saying, "Hey guys, I was about to say we're moving right along there. Again, I'll have to wait until more information comes out before I start doing anything else on it." Alexander said, "Hey, good evening, guys. Hope all is well for both of you, TJ, the Grumpy Old Man, Islander fans in this great podcast." Well, thank you, Alexander. And I know we already went into the Ross Johnston signing. D-Cut said, TJ time equals 10 minutes late. What do you say?
I just want to say that D-Cut is one of the Isles Misery Rated R folks who support us very, very loyally. There's some tough-minded people over there, and we love them to death.
I do love those Isles Misery Rated R guys.
They're great guys.
I love everybody out there.
No snowflakes among the bunch, I can tell you that much.
Frank K said, TJ was using AOL 3.0 today. Oh.
Yeah, good job, TJ.
Tony Chi says, you got the hairline of a boomer. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough shot. Grumpy, on that note, I do have an ad to read. Hey, and guess what? Right after we get back from the ad, we are going to be showing the designs, the logos that we've got up and running.
Hold on. So before we get copyrights on all these logos, now you're going to, after you just made that mistake earlier, you're going to do it again in 5 times worth?
Okay, hold on. It's because it was a bot, a Twitter bot. I know you don't know what Twitter bots are, but don't worry about it. It's not going to happen like this. So that being said, NFL fans hungry for a big week this week? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, has you covered. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and if they do, win $200 in free bets. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code THPN and bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win. With promo code THPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You must be 21 years or older in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum of a $5 deposit and $1 wagers required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Great.
Grumpy, I didn't get a grade. Usually you're very
I didn't pay any attention to you today, actually.
What the hell, Grumpy? Why?
It's probably better. Why get my blood pressure up to see you screw up another promo? Is it worth it? Life is short.
Oh, Grumpy, man. I thought I did a good job today. What can I say, man?
More comments. Get to the people.
Okay.
This is the people's podcast. We let the people speak here.
CJ Scoot says 4 years for Ross. 4 years for Ross. He might crack 100 minutes over the course of that contract. Thumbs up.
CJ Scoots. I love that name.
Oh,
I bet she's fast. Scoots.
Jesus.
He'll get more than 100 minutes over the course of the contract. Like 115, 120.
That's what you think, Grumpy? Well,
5 minutes a game times 20 games.
So I want to show you here the first one. So this is Grumpy's Groupies. Here are the designs, ladies and gentlemen, for the shirts we've got. So we got 4 of the 5 designs completed, done, that we're going to have out there hopefully by this Saturday. No promises, but we've got the designs here. So we've got a little Grumpy's Groupies shirt and a little Grumpy's Groupies action. Now, Grumpy didn't actually think this was going to be a good design. This was one that Paige, the lovely Paige, came up with, that Grumpy was poo-pooing.
Okay. Didn't you draw the design? It looked different. All right.
Yeah, kind of a mistake.
You went to a professional to do it. Honestly, it's the way it should be done.
And then we got Maddie and the Jags, as you could see there, Grumpy.
For all the kids in the family.
Maddie and the Jags for certain. We've got Grumpy's Groupies.
Maybe you should take down Ross's comment so we can see the whole thing.
Well, I don't want somebody to grab this or try to grab
it. Okay, that's cool.
So we've got Grumpy's Groupies. So we've got that one. And then Grumpy,
Yeah,
we've also got Barry and the Vets. You can't see the, okay, let me remove that. Screw it. We got Barry and the Vets, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, get rid of it now, because like I said, if you thought that someone could steal it, you said no one could steal it. Now you're leaving things up because people could steal it. You should have just waited until we got the copyright.
Boom. There it is. It's gone. It's gone. It will only be sold here soon. But I wanted to give everybody, again, you know what? I was willing to take that. I was willing to take that chance, Grumpy. The people have waited so long for these shirts, these items. And
you don't think they could have waited till Saturday afternoon after we got the copyrights on the logos and the names? You don't think we could have waited till Saturday after we've been waiting for a year and a half for you? You thought Saturday was too late? So you jeopardized the whole project to show it 3 days early? That's real bright. That's why you're a football player. Damaged in the brain area. Head-to-head contact.
Well,
head-to-head contact.
Grumpy, this is something that people needed to see. A year and a half and 1 day would have been too long, Grumpy. That's why they had to see it today. So, but we just want to give you guys a taste and a look. We'll be working on it there. But hey, we've got it. We promised. And here it finally is. Just way too late, but we're getting better. We're going to do better there. Eddie said Sorokin was the only reason that we bested Vegas. I don't want to see Vladimir. I don't want to see Varlamov in net again until Sorokin gives up a 5-goal game.
Agreed.
Deidre C said, Grumpy, I'll take it anyway. A win by the goalie, I'll take any day. They play on the same team.
Without a doubt. I'll take those 2 points. TJ doesn't think they're important. I do.
I told you early on.
It's right at top. Doesn't matter if we get points. Doesn't matter. I care that we get points. Yes, I want us to play better. We've not played well, but I'm taking the points every night if I can.
I'll say it to you, Grump. I'm not too concerned with the amount of points that we're accruing. That being said, Coach Tommy B said, good evening, gents. Good evening, Coach Tommy B.
Another one of TJ's pals.
Coach Tommy B, the late night janitor. I love it. Scott L said, with the 5-day break and Varlamov off the IR, does he start versus Nashville? If he says he can go, or do you keep riding the hot hand at Sorokin?
I think he's going to play against Nashville. It's the only reason they're bringing him up.
I'm with Frank K here too. You just can't take Sorokin out right now.
100% agree. This is Barry we're talking about, though.
And then also, Coach Tommy B said Sorokin should start Saturday while I'm in Nashville. Now, Grumpy, I was like, could I make it down to Nashville for the game? Nashville's only like 5-6 hours for me, but I was like, I said maybe that's a little bit. It's a little too late for me to plan something out like that. Because remember, I'm in the Central Time Zone, so Nashville not all that far away. But they play, and you got the Drive for 5, the Islanders meetup. They're going to have a whole bunch of Islander fans in Nashville, Tennessee at the game. In Nashville for the Predators game. Now, hey, if you guys watch the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show, which you could find in the link in the description below, be careful, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of those salacious fighting Nashville fans. I can't tell you, the Nashville fans, I think, jumped some guy from the Seattle Kraken. So
isn't Corona Boy from there?
What was that?
Isn't Corona Boy from Nashville?
Yes, he is. Corona,
the legendary Corona Boy.
The legendary Corona Boy. Coach Tommy B said, honestly, to me, Grumpy Old Man's opinion on Bailey is and has been the right of his opinion. We'll disagree on many things in hockey and in life.
I don't know why you're giving this guy so much run.
Grumpy, it's I read all
So
the
he's one of your pals. Is that why?
yeah, Grumpy. Tommy B and I, we have secret meetings when you say we're gonna throw the coup. We're gonna get the Grumpy Old Man thrown off the show. This is how we're gonna start. We're gonna start by reading more of your comments, Coach Tommy B, than anybody else's comments. We're gonna act like
He's already looking for a replacement for me. He's already said it.
Oh, Eddie says early observations. The offense is better than last year. The defense is lacking, and Chara shouldn't play every game. Sorokin is our 1A. Parise skating exceeds expectation. And number 5, too many turnovers.
Number one, I don't think our offense is better this year.
I do. I agree with that, Eddie. I think the offense is better this season.
I do agree with number 2. I agree with number 3. I think Parise has been better. I think Parise has been better than I expected. And I agree with number 5. The only one I didn't really agree with was the offense. I don't think the offense has been better. You remember, we're playing some bad teams right now. Really bad teams.
We played some really bad
Arizona and Chicago have no wins between them in 12 games. They're not very good.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the stuff that's happening in Chicago is going to be like, obviously they have, they've kind of been on a rebuild mode. Do you think it's just going to full force them into rebuild? Because I've always believed this. Anytime you have unwanted media attention, doesn't matter if it's for a good thing or a bad thing, it's not good for the team. I always believe minimal media attention allows them to stay more focused, allows them to have more energy and reserves, as opposed to if you're having to field questions and a whole bunch of interviews and you have to be like, now everything I'm saying is being analyzed and scrutinized. I have to worry about, crossing my T's and dotting my I's.
Okay, Adam Creighton is the coach there, correct? Is that who Colleton? Jeremy Colleton is the coach. It saved his job. It saved his job. Just like John Gruden, his emails saved Urban Meyer's job. They move on to the next thing. So everyone forgets about how miserable Chicago's been and what a poor coaching job Colleton has done. It's covered up by what's going on with the upper management in Chicago right now.
So let me ask you this. Why can't both be an issue? Why can't they say, hey, we're going to take care of that, but also Colleton, you're going to?
The media can only attack one person at a time, and they're all in on the one thing. He gets a pass now. You know what they're going to say? We've had so much turnover and upheaval. The last thing we'd want to do is bring in a new coach. We need some stability with the players for the rest of the season. That's what happens.
What a film saying, Grumpy, wearing the shirt, TJ. They're halfway there. Next, an emotional support pug.
Not happening.
Or Josh Bailey.
No.
Andrew L. said Tarasenko's shoulder seems to be mighty fine to me. That it does.
Everybody else in the league too.
That it does.
Roll the dice. Should have rolled the dice. If you're all in for this season, like you're saying, roll the dice and get a high-end talent. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At least you took a chance.
We got Matt I saying the grumpy old man eating some crow for sure. Eating crow for dinner. Grumpy, you should be kind of full after that. I feel like crow has got to be a pretty meaty bird.
I wouldn't know. I haven't changed my opinion on anything.
Oh, that's why you're eating crow. D-Cut said Josh Bailey for governor of New York.
Isn't it bad enough already? Isn't that state bad enough already?
Here it is. Tochambi could do something better. Excellent forecheck and pass by Bailey. Amazing shot and finish by Barzal on that goal. Yeah, the shot was freaking fantastic, too.
That goal was scored because of Matt Barzal's brilliance. Nothing else. Nothing else. Anyone on the team could have chipped the puck off the boards. Anyone. It was nothing spectacular. He didn't thread the needle. He just banged it off the boards, and Barzal's individual brilliance came through. That's why he's the best player on our team, bar none.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is it odd that Matt Barzal so far has played 6 games in the regular season? He has 3 goals and 0 assists. I never would have thought I'd seen the day where he's got 3 goals and 0 assists to start the season, the first 6 games of the year. That is odd for me, I think, at least.
He also leads the team in shots on goal by a pretty good margin, too. He's got 21.
21 shots on goal.
Yeah. Bailey, 5. He's below most all the defensemen as well.
I think you're looking at a year where he's going to put up a career high in goals for Matt Barzal. I really do, right? His other career high was back when his rookie season in 2017, 2018. He had 22 goals in an 82-game season. I think 22 goals, scoring over 22 is very attainable.
Maybe Barry said, let's shoot the puck more. Or maybe he feels more comfortable shooting the puck with the wingers that he has.
maybe he'll also have more openings. Remember, Andersley, I'm not saying the goal that he scored recently had any type of, impact by Andersley in that area, but Andersley is better and more of a threat. And again, he's that down low presence to where Leo Komarov was. Yikes, he was playing with one winger. So now having Andersley back, I really think you're going to see a lot of points from Matt Barzal this year. I do. I think that's the case. Now, the power play has been yikes bad still. And that's always unfortunate, right? That's one of those things, right? I'm willing to say, hey, the first few games, maybe they're working out some kinks, but the power play has been yikes bad.
I don't think we've had a boatload of chances, though. I don't think. I mean, if we had a whole lot of power play chances,
I'll have to pull that up for you, Grumpy.
okay, I don't think we've had. We haven't looked good. Shock, of course, but I don't think we've had like a boatload, like not 5 or 6 a game. I don't think it's been that many.
Hold on, 5 or 6 a game? What?
Yeah, that's a lot of chances.
Okay, right now so far on the year, we've had 6 games. We've had 16 power play opportunities, converted 2 of them.
Okay, 1 out of 8. Need to get better, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay to say that? We need to get better?
I was just saying.
Is it okay to say that? Is that too negative? If I say we need to get better, is that too negative?
Too negative, Grumpy.
Just want to know.
Negative. Emmanuel R. said, Grumpy, replace Bailey with someone else currently in this organization. And don't say Bellows.
There is no one else. There is no one else. We have no depth on this team. None. Like I said, I'm not saying Bailey doesn't serve a purpose. He'd make a really good third line winger. I just don't like the fact how he elevates up with poor play. It's the only organization where you get more opportunity for being the shittiest forward on the team. It's just not right.
What did you say about Josh Bailey? Is there anybody else better than Josh Bailey that we could substitute him with?
Currently in our organization, there is not. There is not.
Oh, Grumpy! Look at that.
I'm truthful. I just don't think he's a first line player. I don't think he's a second line player. He's a sidecar. He's a heady third line player. That's what he is.
Matt,
don't try to oversell his value.
Matt, I also saying, what a ridiculous goal by Barzal.
True. That was all him.
Absolutely. Emmanuel R. said, at what point do you make a move for defensemen? Would you wait until the trade deadline?
I would not wait until the trade deadline. I don't know what the prices are right now. Remember, it's early, so every team has aspirations of winning the Stanley Cup, and they probably want to hold pat for a little while. But I think you got to be early rather than late on that.
Yeah, we'll see.
They need someone who can move their feet. Zdeno just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
I will say, I don't think you're going to start seeing teams say, okay, maybe we need to be in there's a few teams that are like, okay, I'm in foregone conclusion. I'm in rebuild mode. Absolutely, no doubt about it. That being said, most teams, I don't think we're going to start seeing that until probably, what are you thinking, Grumpy? Late December?
Yeah.
They start determining, hey, if we're in rebuild mode. I will tell you one thing. The Toronto Maple Leafs are struggling out of the gates. Right now, they're down 2-1 at the end of the second period to the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks going for their first win of the season. The Maple Leafs could be starting off the season 2-5-1.
I didn't understand the need for them to sign Keith to a 3-year extension at this point in time. I don't think he's that great a coach to begin with. But it looks like that Jack Campbell goaltending situation isn't working out. How's Frederick Anderson working out in Carolina?
Can we talk about, okay, he's working out well, right? I'm going to be eating crow. We talk about crow sandwiches. I can pull up the image of the crow sandwich for me because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I said I thought Carolina was going to take a step back. And again, it's early on in the season, right? I thought Carolina was going to take a step back. I thought that, how could they get better? They got rid of Nedeljkovic. I don't understand how they're going to get better. They obviously have been fantastic so far this season. So I'm eating crow on that one too. So.
Yeah, but you'll be eating crow all year. I won't be eating crow all year because Josh Bailey got a lucky couple of points in the game.
Well, here's the thing with Toronto. Mitch Marner so far, I know he's got an assist tonight. Through 8 games of the season, only has 2 points. You want to talk about a guy who's underperforming? You need more of a performance out of a guy you're paying something like $10 million a year to.
Your former hero is a captain there.
Who is my former hero, Grumpy?
You know his name. He's got the pajamas. Name? He's got the Maple Leaf pajamas. You know your boy, your hero.
He's got Maple Leaf pajamas. Who could that be?
Yeah, JT, your buddy, number 91.
Doesn't ring a bell. I'm sorry.
He's not captain material. They need to be a little bit tougher They're like some snowflakes that I know. Stop being so snowflakey. Get tougher, Toronto. Dubas, whatever your name is, go out and get somebody who's a little bit physical to play on that team. Go out and that's another team, right? What do they need? What does Toronto need? Defense. They've needed for years. They never go out and get a top-level defenseman. That's why you're in the boat you're in. Sometimes you got to sacrifice maybe some scoring, get rid of a young scorer to get a stud defender. It's what your team desperately needs, and you don't do it. I have no sympathy for Toronto. They're dumb. It's a dumb move not to improve your team. And when they do go out and get a defenseman, what is it? Another goal scorer, another little lightweight goal scorer type. You need a man back there on defense. Someone who can instill some fear in the other team. They don't have that. I'm sorry. And like I said, I get no pleasure or hatred when whatever Toronto does. But it's just dumb management up there too.
Coach Hybe also said no one did trade for Tarasenko. That's a pure fact.
That is a pure fact. I would have traded for him without a doubt. That's what we needed. At some point in time, you have to say, you know what? I'm willing to take a chance. And Lou Lamoriello could do that because even if it didn't work out, his sycophants would say how great he is because that's just what they do. Can do no wrong. Well, you know something? He did that wrong by not going out and getting him. He should have went out and acquired that guy. He was there for the taking.
That for certain he was. Yeah, what a film's also saying the Leafs may lose their 5th straight game tonight. I love it.
No problem there.
And then Emmanuel R.
The more games they lose, what, right? I guess points don't matter. I bet you they matter to the people in Toronto. I bet you the media thinks that points are important, DJ. Because the further you fall, like I said, you can't win. You can't make the playoffs in the first month, but you can sure get eliminated by it. And that's what makes me happy about the Islanders. Okay, we're not in a playoff spot right now, but we're close enough. So, if we had been like 0-5-1 through 6, I'd be panicking right now.
What I mean by the points don't matter at the beginning of the season is around like game 10. That's when I'm like, okay, we kind of know what type of style we're playing. We know how the team's looking. Now we need to start converting. Now we need to start winning. I'm just saying the first few games, I'm ready to see them first get the style down, make sure they can work out the kinks, get everything moving in the same direction. You don't have any pulling a little bit, don't have any issues, and then I want to start seeing the results. That's all I'm saying. Like, hell, if Toronto goes ahead and rights the ship, they go on a 10-game winning streak with that high-powered offense. That being said, the biggest issues for them are goaltending, which unfortunately, again, I'm a Jack Campbell fan, but I've been a Jack Campbell fan ever since he was drafted by the Dallas Stars. That being said,
he sucks. That being said, he sucks. He's not a good goalie. He's a journeyman. They made a mistake letting Freddie Anderson go. It's a big mistake. When he was healthy, he was good for them. Maybe not in the playoffs, but that's not his fault. It's that lackluster defense. That's what's beaten them for years. They have no defense. None. Hockey's not a pinball game, boys and girls. It really isn't.
But I want to say, too, it's the goal scoring that's really hurting that. They haven't scored. I don't think Toronto scored a lot of goals this year.
It is what it is.
Well, that's okay. When you're talking about what are the issues there okay, here you go. It's not okay. They've played 7 games. They only have 13 goals in 7 games. And for all that money they've spent on forwards, when you're only averaging about less than 2 goals a game, that is an issue.
So you think scoring 13 goals in 7 games is bad? Is that what you think?
Don't you go ahead and twist it and say, how about
is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Okay. How many goals did the Islanders have against Tampa last year?
How many, Grump?
11 in 7 games. And so you think you should improve the offense, right?
I would
do that.
I would do that. Fair enough. Joshua R. said, if Chicago stays awful, Lou is the kind to try to get Patrick Kane. Experience.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe someone brought up Patrick Kane. I have a question for you, TJ.
Oh, you freaking do this right now. We're too late in the freaking podcast.
It's really quick. If you had the opportunity right now to trade Patrick Kane for Anders Lee, would you do it? Right today. I can't even believe that you're pausing.
Yes, I would. I would.
Thank you.
I would do that.
Thank you.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm thinking about the contracts too. I think the contract situation is a lot better for Kane. I mean, Kane's only got another 2 years on his contract. Again, he got a higher cap hit than Anders Lee. He'd have to find a way to make that work. But Patrick Kane is a marketably better player than Anders Lee.
Patrick Kane is infinitely better. Would make this team way better with his ability to create and score. That said, that's not happening. Patrick Kane is not coming here. There's no way they could fit him under the cap. They're not going to do that. I would love it, but it's not happening. Sorry, Josh.
I was about to say, maybe if it was closer to 7 million like others, but 10, I just think it's too much of a stretch.
And for those uninitiated, that's because years ago, TJ said that he would rather have Anders Lee than Patrick Kane.
No, I freaking didn't. And here we go again. This is why I don't ever like answering.
We're moving on.
Anybody that ever comments anything.
Moving right along. Moving right along. Isn't that what you say, TJ? Moving right along. Let's go. Next comment.
Anybody that ever shows, housekeeping note, anybody that ever shows a comment about Patrick Kane ever again will never get shown a comment ever again. Put a permanent ban, like the soup Nazi from, from Seinfeld. Yeah. No soup for you.
No soup for you.
Michael M. said, piss, the Panthers are playing tonight. The Florida Panthers.
They're playing
I guess regarding what's happening. Yeah, they're up 3-1 at the moment there.
Well, now, that could derail that. If something happens with Quenneville, all bets are off with Florida.
I mean, they're about to start the season 7-0-0.
Yeah, they're good. They're really, really good. Really, really good.
Brandon Frey, well, you didn't miss it. You got it. You got to listen to it. We didn't. We our little ad lib take on it. So we'll have to see more and more as information comes out. I don't like reading that stuff either. I don't read that stuff, Grumpy, because it's not like I try to avoid that.
I don't find any pleasure in reading things about sexual misconduct. I mean, you just shouldn't do it. I'm sorry.
It's as easy as that. The grumpy old man says, "Don't sexually misconduct people. You goddamn better not do it."
I never even think like that. You understand? So it's like hard for me to grasp, if you know what I mean. It's not what I'm about. I don't know. I just don't think like that.
So in case you ever wondered if Grumpy supports sexual misconduct, no,
I do not.
Let's get one thing clear. If that was the Islanders, Lou would have never let us play.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he had a meeting with them today.
He did. He had a meeting with them today, so I have no idea.
Now, you could say that maybe the coach doesn't coach, but they're not going to cancel a game for that. They're not going to do that.
Who the heck knows? Here's, dude, I hope there's something. What I hope is something.
I hope there's nothing to it.
That's 100% right, because
I don't want to see an ugly stain on hockey. I don't want to see it.
It's bad for the sport. First year being on ESPN Plus, and you're going to have, and again, Quenneville may have known about it. We have no earthly idea, but from them coming out of that meeting, I feel like if that was like, hey, he knew about it, he would not have been coaching today, because I feel like Bettman would have taken immediate action by saying, "This is what happened. You're going to be put on a brief hiatus."
From what Beach said today, he said there's no way he couldn't have known about it, is what he said. That tells me that Beach did not go to Quenneville, because if he would have said, "I went to Quenneville and told him," that's something totally different.
I do. It's an odds. I really hope and pray it is not.
Now, that said,
I hope it's not a stain on hockey, because we do not need any stains on this.
I'm going to tell you again, the other players, I read something earlier in the summer who were saying, everyone, it was almost like they were saying it in a joking manner. And like I said, I'm not into that at all, but it was like, oh yeah, everyone kind of knew, blah, 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 something like that kind of. And I'm like, well, dude, if everyone knew, then Quenneville had to know too, right? Wouldn't you say?
I would say everybody knew, but maybe it's one of those. I really couldn't tell you. Maybe it's one of those things like where coach walks in a locker room and they're talking or riffing with them. That's one of those things I couldn't imagine people riffing with them on, because that's why it's tough to imagine what's going on with the situation. Because as a player, there's no way in hell I want any of my players to know that, because I don't want them looking at me differently. I don't want them treating me differently, because I feel like, hey, somebody's always going to think of me as the guy who had to do XYZ because I was threatened to be beaten over the head with a baseball bat. So
souvenir baseball bat.
Okay. So yes, that is a specific other situation. I I will be interested to see how things come out. I hope and pray to God it is not a bad stain on hockey. It looks like that's the way it's headed, but I hope and pray it is not a stain on hockey. That being said, I don't want to talk too much about that because
it's not pleasant.
No.
We don't believe in it.
Yeah. Coach Tommy B said incorrect. They were asking for a second-round pick in either Mayfield or Bolduc with no salary cap relief. I would have
no problem there. That's all it would have taken to get him. See you later.
I would have given up Samuel Bolduc in a heartbeat.
Even Scott Mayfield. You're getting a top line winger, a true sniper, a guy who's won a Stanley Cup and played excellent in the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer.
Especially after seeing how well Salo played. Salo is a guy who I feel confident can step up and be a top 4 defenseman in the NHL when
Salo's a left-handed defenseman.
I know he's not Mayfield. Bolduc is a left-handed defenseman.
Yeah, I'd move Bolduc in a second.
I'm talking about for the prospect pool.
Yeah.
Right? Bolduc and Salo, both prospects. This would have also been the offseason before we knew what was happening with Bodie Wild. At the time period, I also would have supported that too because I would have thought Bodie Wild maybe had a future here before the non-vaccine thing.
If you had told me in the offseason it's a second-round pick and Samuel Bolduc, and no salary, I could care less about the salary cap relief. You can make that work.
I would have to find a way to get rid of Josh Bailey or find a way to trade him, get some spare parts, and find some more cap relief.
I would have been willing to trade a second-round pick and Anthony Beauvillier. I would have been willing to do that. He makes your offense that much better, which makes a team that's offensively challenged. It improves your power play. That's the missing piece. But Bolduc, he's not going to play this year. We're all in for this year. It's an older team. To me, if that was it, well, then Lou really failed. Epic failure.
The reason I don't think that's the case, it may be, I thought that St. Louis is trying to compete this year. That's what they took in the offseason.
Okay.
And it looks like they are competing. This is okay. Well, here's the thing. This is as good as gold because Tommy gets this information out unless Lou. Hold on a second. Tommy, have you been compromised? Does Lou Lamoriello know that you've been siphoning and giving us information from his trash? Holy shit. We might be seeing a little bit of, he might be trying to play games with us. He might be throwing away fake ones in trash cans. So he's trying to lead us off the scent.
No, I'm going to say no, because this is before we expose Tommy for being the janitor, Lou's personal janitor. So I think this is not fake news like we see all around the internet. This is not fake news. This is legitimate. And then it's an epic fail by Lou. Not only for leaving it in his trash can, but for not making that move. That's really bad.
D-Cut saying, yep, anything that is under 1.125 million is 100% variable under in the AHL level for certain. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, D-Cut. Wanta Tusai said, I hope I pronounced that right. Ross Johnston should be playing regularly on the fourth line by now.
Not going to happen.
Like him. I like his style, but hey,
I love Ross Johnston. Barry doesn't. Enough said. If the guy has no way of playing on your team, Kiefer Bellows, Bodie Wild, Ross Johnston, move them. Free up salary cap space throughout your organization. Move them. If you have no interest in playing them, move them. If they get picked up on waivers, oh well, you weren't going to play them anyway. All I want is for this team to be a winner. That's all I want.
Brian P. said, what's up, everyone? Alice Misery representing. I'm in Burlington, Vermont on a long planned getaway.
Nice. I wonder what the weather's like. It's probably got to be a little chilly up there now.
It's got to be probably like a low 60s, maybe upper 50s in Vermont.
I don't know. Probably cooler than that, maybe.
Unless they got a warm front coming their way.
I think they had a storm go up through that area yesterday.
Probably a little chilly then.
The weather report. Maybe tell us about some traffic patterns in Atlanta next, DJ.
Hey, if we have Rob Shrimp back on, that'll be the first question asked. Hey, how are those traffic patterns in Atlanta there, Rob Shrimp?
My God, TJ, the only guy who brings on an ex-NHL player, and he's talking to him about traffic patterns in Atlanta, George. I'm like, what?
How are the traffic?
Let me tell you something. That's not our podcast.
Oh, goodness. What can I say? I forgot. I thought we were part of a different podcast for a second. Coach Tommy B said, we offered Bellows with Bailey. They said no.
Would you take Bellows and Bailey if you were St. Louis? I said that. You're offering Bailey, and my thing was, why would St. Louis want Bailey?
because we all were under the perception that they wanted to compete and that they wanted to get more players to help them compete for now. But
they are doing that.
Little did we know, them keeping Tarasenko, they'd be able to work things out. Hey, a few goals and a lot of wins will do that for you.
I'm going to say that Josh Bailey is more valued here than anywhere in the NHL. No one wants him. Expansion team? Nope. I'd rather take Jordan Eberle. Think about that. Jordan Eberle.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy. Goodness gracious.
No one wants him. He's unmovable. Here's the worst thing about Josh Bailey. Franz Nielsen mentioned that, how smart Bailey is. Again, I don't want to hear how smart he is. Go teach math. Go teach calculus, whatever you got to do. He says, he could play till he's 50. Yet when you avoid physical contact and hang around the boards, I could see that. But then I woke up with a cold sweat, and I was like, holy crap. Could you see them giving him another 5-year extension at the age of 33 or 34?
No.
Here's the thing. I guarantee you, again, that they try to re-sign him when his contract's up. When they should certainly let him go. Get better.
I don't see him signing a huge contract.
I think they'll sign him back, and I also think they'll sign Cal Clutterbuck this offseason. Clutterbuck back this offseason.
Cal Clutter. He's using his Butchie abbreviation.
Using my Butchieisms.
This is from earlier. He says Cal Clutterbuck is getting a 2 to 3 year extension after this as well. You already know.
I think he is too. He's played well.
He's played extremely well. I really think he wants to retire, but maybe not. Here's what I think happens. If we win the cup,
we're not winning the cup.
Well, stop. Okay, let's say we win the cup this year. I think he wants to go out on top. I think a lot of players would want to go out on top. I would, especially if I'm like, hey, I've lost feeling in 2 of my fingers on my, whatever hand it is. I just won myself a Stanley Cup. This is what I dreamed of as a kid. I can retire and be happy. Unless he's like, hey, I want to win 2 or 3 cups. So, hey.
For people who don't know, TJ is doing this podcast from Orlando, Florida, actually Lake Buena Vista, where the Magic Kingdom and Fantasyland is located.
Why am I in Fantasyland, Grumpy?
Because you said the Islanders when they win the cup. They're not winning the cup. We didn't do anything in the offseason to make the team better. Everybody else seemed to get better. The competition got better. We didn't.
We save all of our work for the trade deadline.
There you go.
D-Cut said
a second round pick in Samuel Bolduc for a top line right wing. Oh my God.
D-Cut says TJ's brought up human Andy and Phil's facts already 3 times, but refuses to give a shout out to the Isles Misery rated R.
Are you surprised, D-Cut? I tried to get it in earlier. I make sure I read a comment from one of the loyal Isles Misery people, but TJ won't put them up there. He cuts me off because I happened to read one comment earlier about Tarasenko. TJ, nope, no comments for you, Grumpy. No soup for you.
Oh, man. Isles for Life said, TJ, you say, with that being said, too much. You know what? It was at first there. I say there too much. And again, maybe I'm saying now, with that being said, way too often. Those are those little clutch words I guess I have, or clutch phrases.
At least with that being said is a phrase there. That's what TJ always used to say when he gets stuck there. With this here, there, and there, and there, and there, and there. Stop it there. And I told him, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. Then people start calling him out for him. Yeah. Then he realized, I must really look like a dope. And
here's the thing. I want people when I do shit like that to let me know, because I did
let you know, and you told me I was wrong.
With that being said, I didn't know I was saying that. Now, when I say it, I'm like, holy shit, I do say that an awful lot. So I'm glad people let me know, because I don't want to just be like, hey, if I'm doing something wrong, or I'm doing something I'm like, oh, I could do better on, I want to know about it. What if Film said Ross will play on 4th line? It's just a matter of time with the injuries to Martin and Clutterbuck. We're going to need his size and presence. I'd keep him. I
love Ross Johnston. I do. I love him. I think he should get a run on that bottom line. Barry doesn't, though. He just doesn't see the value in Ross Johnston. Like I said, that's why the move to me was just, why? Never play the man. Why?
Michael T said, we need the T-shirts.
Well, hopefully everything else wasn't absconded with a bot, because TJ insists on puking it all over the podcast. when I told him we should get these things trademarked before you do something like that.
He cut. Brian P said, yeah, the lady and him are chilling at Lake. I don't know. What is that? I'm not cultured, Grumpy. How do you pronounce that?
Lake Champlain.
Lake Champlain. Enjoying some drinks at the many trendy watering holes here.
Wow, man, he's hitting all the bars.
Hey, there it is. Brian G said, so Johnston can't be claimed, dumbass. Grumpy, I'm assuming that's talking to you.
So what if he's claimed? So what if he's claimed? So what if he's claimed?
Who has a job, Grumpy? Do you?
No, I'm retired now. I don't need a job. I'm retired. I'm independently wealthy at this stage of my life. I don't need a job. But here's the thing. If he's not going to play, why was it a great? Who cares if he gets claimed off waivers? He doesn't play.
It's one of those moves that had no downside and very minimal upside. Now you just kept an extra depth piece. If you need an extra physical guy, you've got him. But that's about it. Michael O says, not only is Chara slow, but in case you haven't noticed, he gets knocked on his ass. He gets knocked down on his ass every game by when an opposing player hits him.
It's true. They skate around him like he's a traffic cone, but he falls down a lot. It's like a couple, like the little legs in the traffic cone are kind of wobbly, so it just boom, down he goes. Yeah, it's not good. But here's the thing. I told everyone this offseason he could not play. I was wrong. Grumpy old man, you're stupid. You don't know anything about life. You know nothing about nothing. Yeah, here's the thing. He's been finished for the last 2 years. Boston didn't want him back. Washington didn't want him back. There's a reason. And guess what? After this year, we're not going to want him back because he can't play anymore. No harm in that. He just can't play anymore. I love Zdeno Chara. Just can't play anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to want him next season, Grumpy. I think he'll be fully on retired. He'll be 45 years old by then. Yeah. That being said, Grumpy, moving right along. D-Cut says, TJ treats Phil's facts like Bob McKenzie. Oh, my God.
But one thing I'll say about Phil, okay, in his defense, he does look this stuff up. He does. He looks it up and microanalyzes it, puts it through the trans processor and spits it out. Matter of fact, he was correcting Staple so much that Staple just blocked him, which is what you should do. That's what you should do. If someone's aggravating you, just block them. You don't have to talk to them.
I think Staples should have filed a complaint. Brandon Frey said, I can't wait.
Staples an adult. He wouldn't do that.
Brandon Frey said, I can't wait till they raise number 12 to the rafters.
Isn't that just typical of the times? Rewarding mediocrity. That's all it would be. Hey, Josh, what was your great accomplishment with the Islanders? I played a lot of games. Didn't have any impact on anything, but I played a lot of games. Me and the boards have been pals for years. I went near the net once.
I played a lot of games and I scored a lot of points. Hey, Grumpy.
Secondary assists. I give it to somebody who create, and then somebody else would score. Woo-hoo, I got a point.
Oh, stop. Tom B said, I heard Joe Biden watches his podcast. Just saying, I heard it's people more famous than Joe Biden, if that's believable or not. Very, very big people. That's all we'll say. Tony Baloney. I like this name. Tony Baloney. Always believe in the Islanders, Grumpy. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Tony Baloney. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Tony Baloney, just because of the last name, you've won me. Grumpy, you need to always believe now because Tony Baloney has let us know.
Okay.
Scott L said the reason why Lou gave Ross an extension is because maybe he's afraid another team is picking him up and beating up some of the Islanders, and he didn't want to lose him because of that.
Well, if he's not good enough to play in your roster, I just, like I said, for me, why? Everyone was like, well, Ross Johnston's contract. Thank God his contract is up at the end of this year. This is what everybody was saying, right? Earlier in the season, all the pundits, every single one, every website you ever see. Well, good news is Ross Johnston won't be back after this year. That'll be more money that we could spend on some primo free agent who's never coming here. And you know what? Guess what? And they re-signed him. Now that's the greatest move ever. Please. It's not. You didn't want him. And I love Ross Johnston. he was never going to get a chance to play here, period.
Maybe this is the juvenile in me coming out and laughing at it. You know, you think like some men had just have these caveman jokes like, hey, sometimes farts can be funny. So I posted originally, I was like, okay, well, I'm like, why are we signing back Ross Johnston? And I got a comment from somebody, grumpy old man, and I just couldn't help but laugh. This was the image. He said, because F it, why not? And then and this is the little image he sent me. Again, like I felt like the little stick figure with the caveman brain, like clapping right there because I saw this. I'm like, man, oh man, my humor level must be pretty low. What it takes to make me laugh must be pretty low, Grumpy, when I'm giggling at something like this.
I am not going to say what I was going to say about this because it's wildly inappropriate, and I know TJ would lose his freaking mind. I will tell you off air, TJ, but it's freaking hilarious without a doubt.
Okay, I'm glad you contained yourself for this one. Frank K.
Oh man, because it's so easy, honestly.
Frank K. said more like Spuds McKenzie.
Do you know who Spuds McKenzie is, TJ?
I thought that was a joke. No, who's Spuds McKenzie?
Okay, he was a little Budweiser dog, a little I don't know what kind of dog you call him, like a little pit bull or something. Some type of fighting dog, little Spuds McKenzie. He was a dog who they used to do Budweiser commercials with.
You talking about this Spuds McKenzie, grumpy old man?
There's only one Spuds McKenzie. So yeah, that's him right there.
He looks like Wishbone the dog.
You know what I bet? They trademarked Spuds McKenzie and his name and likeness. I bet they did that before they started whamming him up all over the place.
Oh, Spuds McKenzie. Spuds McKenzie. I'm learning things tonight. Well, here you go. Well, the Blackhawks and the Maple Leafs are now tied at 2-2, Grumpy. So maybe the Maple Leafs will go ahead and get themselves a win. They'll save themselves from losing yet another game. Tony G said the ghost of Charles Wong listens to the podcast.
I wish he would have listened when he was alive.
It's somebody bigger than Charles Wong. Frank K said he thinks it's like Walter Cronkite talking.
Man, he's coming at you hard, you and your boy Phil. You know, Frank, you ever notice that TJ and his little minions, and here's the thing, I like these guys, but let me tell you something, they're all the same ilk, the same that little bootlicking weasel ilk that I love so much, right? You got Phil, you got Tommy Baffy, all the glad handers that all believe anything that Lou says, anything that TJ says. They're little pals. They always come in at the grumpy old man. They're no match for me. No match at all.
Oh, look at you, Grumpy. Brian B said, I'll pass on just making the playoffs and winning a round or two. It's all about the cup for me.
Once again, Brian is my brother from another mother without a doubt. We think so much alike. And you know what else I like about Brian? He has never changed that picture on his Facebook. If I had a Facebook, I would never change the picture either.
What a Film said, TJ, do you have a shirt that says Islanders Never Say Die podcast on the back? Fans can wear it to the games. Good promo. I don't think we have anything for that on it. That was maybe on the next release, on the next bit of merchandise we drop. But these are the few we wanted to have.
We could do that now and just put them on the back of the shirts as well.
We think about it. I think that's a good idea.
That's it. It's TJ's way or the highway, Water. That's just the way he is. Because I made so many suggestions. No, stupid. Your ideas are dumb. They're idiotic. I know best. I'm TJ.
No, you had a lot of good suggestions, Grump. A lot of good ones. Matt I said the white whale with grand larceny.
He was spectacular. Spectacular.
Frank K also fearful. Varlamov will see the net this Saturday.
I think that as well. I mean, why? You want to know why? Because Barry wants to play the vets. That's it. Only reason.
Barry and the vets. What a Film said, we have the best two goalie tandem in the NHL. They both play. Varley deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I just think he's solid. I think the system and what Greco and Mitch Korn, thank you. I don't know why I forget his name.
I know you're pausing on it. I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Are you a lifeline here, Grumpy?
The two goalie coaches are great. And Barry's system, when working properly, is fantastic for goaltenders. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter if they have talent, but I think it's less important. That's when you get someone who's Sorokin, who actually has that high-end athletic ability and talent. He can be special in this system. Varlamov, not so much.
Well, Sal P said you cannot give Varlamov the start after Sorokin's last few games. 100% agree.
Want to bet?
Jesus.
You know what, Sal? I hope you're right. I think Sorokin should play until he proves he can't play. Then give Varlamov a game or two. That's it.
Tony G said, I'm almost content. I'm almost content. Oh my God, it's a long day. I'm almost content with just these past 3 seasons. I've never been alive to see the Islanders this relevant. I've been more proud
He's never
been more proud to where my Islanders had in Boston, of all places.
But see, there's a lot of fans like that. There are a lot of fans like that because think about it, we were miserable for a long, long, long time, right? The ownership changes. Charles Wang not spending money, Milbury, Snow, the Neil Smith fiasco before Snow. It's like, come on. And, fans are just happy with that. You know what? Don't settle. That's what I'm going to say. Don't settle. Want to be great. That's what you should want. You should want the Islanders to be great. That's what I want. I lived through the glory years. I saw them all. I saw the struggles before the glory years. I remember losing to Toronto in the quarterfinals. Worst defeat of my life. Think about that, right? I didn't play for the team. But I look at like I personally took a loss in that game. Losing to the Rangers in 79. Potvin slumped along the wall. And then coming through and beating those damn dirty-ass Flyers in 1980. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. Bobby Nystrom scoring that goal. Man, they're coming on big. Fantastic. I'll never forget where I was that Saturday afternoon in my mom's den watching that just before going to work. It was fantastic, wearing my Islander blue with a little iron-on Islander logo patch on my shirt. It was fantastic. Then winning the next 3 Stanley Cups and then the down times. And you know what? You should want to be great. That's what I want for this team is greatness. Not, okay, we went around to the playoffs. We maybe 2. We're competitive in the regular season. We make the playoffs. No, that should not be the end game for this team. And that's why I'm hard on them.
Jimmy S. said, hold on. Didn't Varlamov have like 7 shutouts last year? Come on, Grump.
Yeah, I think that Sorokin has – how many does he have in his career now? No, in his career. I think he has like 7 shutouts in his career or 6 or something like that in the limited amount of games he plays. He's a better goalie than Varlamov. Without Sorokin, we don't beat Pittsburgh.
So he's got 5 shutouts in his 17 career starts. 27. Okay. I'm sorry, 27 career starts. He's got 5 shutouts.
So he's got like a shutout almost every 5 games. That's pretty good in my book. All I know is without Sorokin, we don't beat Pittsburgh because people forget how bad Varlamov was in that series. He was bad. Tristan Jarry helped us, but so did Sorokin. He was just as big, coming up with big saves against Pittsburgh at opportune times. That's why we get out of the first round last year.
Mm-hmm. John Smith said, we still need more help defensively. We're giving up way too many chances. Couldn't agree with you more, John.
And I want to say that the forwards seem like they're coming back a little bit more. But, man, you're really hurting with some of the guys on defense. Just making mistakes back there.
Yeah, Grumpy. I want you to move the mic a little closer to Grump. Tony Cheese, I know we're only about 20, we're only 2 hours into the podcast, Grump, but you have to move that closer if people want to be able to hear you better, Grumpy.
Okay.
Oh, Grumpy.
How about this? Can I put it right here? Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. Just don't be moving on your leather couch over there, making bruises and everything. Tony Cheese said, I'll never forget over a decade of me watching garbage. Tickets were $20 when I went to my first game, and they were more Calgary fans than Islander fans.
That's what happens when your team's a loser. And that's any market. When your team is winning, people show up. When you're a bad team for a long, long time, that's what you get. But that's what makes Islander fans true diehard fans. Okay? Never say die. That's why we call it the Never Say Die podcast.
Brandon Frey said, Vegas did not dominate us. Come on, Grumpy.
They absolutely dominated us. I don't know what game you're watching, Brandon.
Okay. Gotcha, Grumpy. I thought they had a lot of chances, and if it wasn't for Varlamov or if it wasn't for Sorokin coming up big, that score could have been much different.
After the Barzell goal, Vegas's play noticeably sank. But before then, they carried the action. Even Butch couldn't sugarcoat it.
Barry or Brian B said, issue is Barry feels Varley is his number one.
True.
Grumpy, let's just move the mic back to where it was beforehand. It sounds odd now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting nitpicky.
Man, you got problems.
I just want to make sure people can hear it. You put it off to the side like that, and you're speaking right at me. It's not going to pick up good
Do you
quality.
mind if you see it? Is that too much of a problem if you see it now?
Grumpy. We'll have to get you fixed up.
Well, that's on you too.
Oh, that's on me too?
That's right.
What a film said, great point, Tony. This is a great time to be an Islanders fan. You got to enjoy it a little bit.
I'd feel better if we were younger. We're an older team, and we don't have anything coming up through the ranks to replace these older guys. That's my concern, because you could see a spiral. As fast as we moved up is as fast as we could move down again. Of course, we hope that doesn't happen, but it's possible.
Tom M said, hey, I was in Vegas for the game. When I saw the pregame announcement about Martinez, Whitecloud, and Patrick being out, I was pissed. It was too late to bet the under.
That's right. Nolan Patrick and Whitecloud were also out. Yeah. There's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys.
Brian G said, Leonard played an awesome game. Islanders should have won like 6-0.
See, I disagree. I thought that he was giving up rebounds. I thought he was spitting them out like a Pez dispenser. I thought he looked clumsy in net. I don't think he looked that great. Maybe I'm just comparing to how great that Sorokin was. That I'm just like, he looked shaky to me. He looked shaky. I just didn't think we pressed him very much.
Dave C said, Grumpy is being as positive as he should be. Why would you want to hear fake fluff instead of reality? Well,
you'd be surprised how many people think fake fluff sells.
Here we go. This is it. It's Mr. B or Mr. BM. Actually, it's Brendan, Grumpy. Any thought? I'm going to call him Mr. B. Mr. B says here, any thought on Barry moving Varlamov moving Varley for a shooter at the trade deadline?
No way they're moving him. Now, I don't see how it gets Brendan. I don't see any D's in there. But hey, I'm not going to call you Mr. BM because that constitutes bowel movement, but I will call you Mr. B. How about that? Or how about Mac Attack? That's another one. But he'll go with Mr. B. I'll go with that. Mac Attack is kind of cool, but if he likes Mr. B, that's what I'll call him.
And they were saying Stan Bowman, Grumpy.
Stan Bowman, that's it. Scotty Bowman's son, Stan Bowman.
CJ Scoot said the investigation did find that Quinville, oh God, and Cheveldayoff knew. Quinville said he didn't want to mess with the team chemistry, so he wanted to deal with it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, see, that's a mistake right there.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if he gets fired because, but I'll bet he gets fined.
How the hell was the guy, whoever did this to him, not canned immediately?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Was he canned immediately? I don't know. I wish I'd come more prepared to this, but man, oh man, I tell you. Ugh.
Well, I think they just released everything like late this evening, right?
No, I thought it was earlier on today. I don't know. I was busy day at work, so I couldn't.
I just knew it like at around 7:00. I think it came out that, or maybe it was 6, that Beach was the guy, was the John Doe.
Jesus, man, oh man. Well, if that's the case, then too, if Quinville knew, yikes, goodbye. I'm sorry. And if they didn't fire the guy, goodbye. Alexander said the media down here thinks that tonight could be his last game coaching the Panthers. Oh, man, what a black eye this will leave on the NHL. I 100% agree.
Without a doubt. And then you wonder what direction Florida goes in.
This is – you want to talk about something? This is a coach, outstanding NHL coach.
The best coach in the NHL.
The best coach, best coach in the NHL who's done this. This is awful. This is bad for the sport. This is bad for Florida. This is bad for the individuals involved. This is bad all the way around.
True.
Oh man. Alexander also said, Grumpy TJ, with the way that we have been playing lately, I don't like Bailey on the first line with Barzal. I got a feeling Wallstrom will be on that line soon.
That could be another reason why Barzal has so many goals, because, well, nobody else in that line will shoot. So, you got Andersley, who stands down low. You got Bailey, who just refuses to shoot. But I don't think you're going to see a change up with Parisi and Wallstrom and JG Pajot at any time right now.
Grumpy, just when you think it can't get worse, somebody who's done more of the research, again, assuming this is all true, we have not read all the story.
Oh.
CJ Scoot said the trainer went on to get a job recommendation from the Blackhawks and was charged for assaulting a minor in high school. You know what it's like? It's like in the Catholic Church when the priests were raping kids and they said, oh, we'll give him a recommendation just to move him to another parish or to move him to a different state where he could do the same shit all over again. Oh my God. Whoa, this could not be, holy shit, this could not be worse. I'm getting goosebumps right now. If this is all true, this could not be worse for the NHL.
It can get worse because it seems like it's getting worse by the minute. It can get worse. I wonder who gave him the recommendation.
You said by the minute. We're not privy to the story. I took a quick glance at it. I don't know the whole story, as I've said before, and I wanted to look at it after the podcast, but this is awful. This is awful news for the NHL. Oh, Jesus. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Sal P said,
when did Bettman find out about it?
Yeah.
And I'm asking this because tomorrow on the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show, Deshaun Watson will come up and the NFL's handling of that. And with it possibly him being traded, the Dolphins wanting some clarification on that. And the NFL saying, we don't have enough information because they figured Houston wasn't going to do anything. They didn't have to deal with it. They stuck their heads in the sand. And now it seems like something's going to be pressed for them to do something. Just bad times.
Sal P said Big Z is finished. He's an amazing he has an amazing Hall of Fame career, but he can no longer compete on this level. Why not give Sal or Bolduc a taste now while it's still early in the season so that we happen to need them down the stretch and in the postseason, they'll already have some experience at this level. I think ideally what they want, Salo to play, 20 some odd plus games at the A, and then he'll get a chance up there for the Islanders organization. I really honestly believe that, right? I think that, hey, we want to get us through here, these dark times with the 13-game road trip. After that, then, hey, we got some home games sprinkled in. We can get some fresh legs, get the home atmosphere back for us. And then, I think they do want to go ahead and give Salo a chance there to play in the NHL. I think it's going to become about like 20, 25 games in the NHL season. I really do believe that.
I wish that Bolduc was not in the organization anymore. And as well as the second round pick, and we'd have Vladimir Tarasenko. That's what I wish.
What are you doing?
He's not wrong about Big Z. He's not.
No. What are you doing over there, Grumpy?
I had a little hiccup. Thanks.
Christopher C said, you realize we're 3-0 against them, the only team undefeated against them, right?
I think he's talking about Vegas. We haven't had good luck against Vegas.
We have played Vegas. That's right. We beat them the first year they came out. We beat them both games.
Yep.
Paul O.C. said, Grumpy, I think you like Bailey. I think you like Bailey with a Bailey sweater. You like him so much that you talk shit about him because you want him to play well so badly. So
I do. You know what? I do. There were a couple of games last year where Josh Bailey was, and I even on this podcast, I said, if Josh Bailey played like that every night, you would never hear me talk shit about him. But those games are so few and far between. Yeah, he had 2 points the other night, but otherwise he was virtually invisible. He was Josh Bailey-like. But there were a couple of games last year where he was phenomenal. And I was right. And TJ, you know this. I was right at the top of the show saying how great he played. Is that correct, TJ? What the hell are you doing? Swatting flies over there?
Yeah, I'm swatting.
Maybe you should take a shower. The flies would be buzzing around you.
We opened up the door to let our cat outside on the porch, and it brought a whole bunch of flies in. What could I say?
It's a cat's fault. Okay, great.
Yeah. No, but you were speaking positively, Grumpy.
Absolutely.
Eve L said, what the hell is wrong with the Canadians?
They're not that good. They're not that good. They caught lightning a bottle last year in the playoffs, made it to the finals, but they're just not that good. The GM is on the last year of his deal. The coach is on the last year of his deal. Are they going to make it out to the end of the season? Doubtful at this point in time.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens, I do not see them making the playoffs. They squeaked in last year, and they were one of those Cinderella stories. I do think you're right. They caught lightning in a bottle, and they had a freaking magma hot goaltender, and Carey Price was playing of the Carey Price of MVP caliber seasons. And remember, Carey Price has been out, so is Shea Weber, so that also hurts the Canadians a lot.
Thank you, Eve. I don't know if TJ called you Eve or if he added the S like he occasionally does.
Eve L.
Okay, didn't know what you did.
Tony Chi said, nothing fuels positivity in a podcast more than stories of sexual assault.
No comment.
Bringing fun there to your pod.
Someone brought this up. I didn't bring it up.
Frank K, especially the time when you see it was swept under the rug. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Frank K said they were on the verge of winning the cup, and the league loves them. No doubt it was silenced somehow. Bettman knew. And
if Bettman knew
that he was the video coach.
Okay. Who knows what he was videotaping as well, right? So if Bettman knew, Bettman's got to go too, right? I mean, isn't that the way it is nowadays? I mean,
Bettman should go if we knew. Anyway, Tony Cheese said, I want to know what kind of bat they threatened him with. Was it like a Sammy Sosa sign bat?
No, it was like a little souvenir bat, like the little one they give out on bat day.
I'm going to say it was bigger than a little tiny souvenir.
No, those are the souvenir bats are the small ones. They don't sell big bats in the stadiums. They sell little souvenir bats.
Let me ask you this. How the hell was
it? Doesn't matter. He was threatened by it.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't
want to joke about the bat that was used.
I know. I'm just saying. I was just wondering, Grumpy.
But the souvenir bats, they're small. They're little mini bats.
This can hurt. I'm just saying. Michael T said, hey, guys, good to see you. Michael T also saying, with the Ross Johnston signing, do we say goodbye to Cal Clutterbuck next year?
No, I think it has no bearing on Cal Clutterbuck.
Oh, Matt I said, first design equals awful. I think that was the van. Well, hey, not everybody's going to like the designs. Not everybody's going to like every design. That's why you got the ability to.
I'm going to wait until some of those shirts sell, because I made a prediction on certain shirts and what I thought would be successful and not successful.
Oh, goodness gracious. What are films? They're saying Alice Girls 3 going through some difficult personal times. So go on our channel and show her some support. Yeah, Kim's very nice. I know they're having some.
We love Kim. She's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate to hear that she's going through anything, but she's a wonderful young lady. Like her very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Matt I said third design's okay. Fourth one or meh. Okay, so Matt I he's a design connoisseur. He is a design. What do they call it, Grumpy? He's a
design connoisseur.
Yeah, sure. He's a design connoisseur. He's very critical of designs. How dare you be so critical of our designs?
I want Matt to buy every design and to inspect them thoroughly.
What a film said, Butch has to stop calling goalie pads flippers. It drives me nuts.
He does that. He does call them flippers.
When he says in the toy department, it grinds my gears.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, I'm not going to get on Butch. I'm sorry. He's in his 70s. I mean, come on.
Paulo C said, Bubba Barry and the Vets looks like Dr. Sinister in the Flintstones. Who's Dr. Sinister, Grumpy?
Look it up.
Okay, I'm going to look it up, but in lieu of me looking up, I want you to provide some.
He was like a little character on there. They had little, it wasn't always Barney and Fred and Wilma and Betty, Mr. Slate, with the saber-tooth tiger.
I want to show you this, Grumpy. So when I pull up a Dr. Sinister, I think I get some other type of Dr. Sinister, not the Dr. Sinister you're thinking of. So I have to assume it's this old drawn green thing right here. He kind of does look like a Dr. Sinister.
Yeah. He wasn't on a lot of episodes. He was not.
That being said, Grumpy, moving right along.
Maybe you should say it better. Like, hey, moving right along.
Butch T says, Michael T says, Butch Goring doesn't care what you think. I'm sure
he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Yeah, I was about to say, Butch, he doesn't
cares. Think. I don't care what people say about me. Who cares? As long as you're happy with yourself, who cares?
Absolutely. Brett W says, hey guys, no worry if you mentioned it already, but Ross Johnston signed that 4-year extension.
Way ahead of you, Brett.
Michael T.
Love the Great Pumpkin there. Old Charlie Brown special.
I was about to say, hey, it's crazy. It's almost freaking Halloween, dude.
Sunday is Halloween.
Holy crap.
You can also listen to the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast Sunday, 8 o'clock ish TJ time.
And that's in the
always,
link.
and here's the thing. Here's another saying that TJ likes. There's a whole lot of stuff going in and around in the world of sports.
I say it all the time. Michael T said the Islanders power play makes me feel the same way as Grumpy Old Man feels about Josh Bailey.
Guess who plays on the power play? Josh Bailey.
Brandon Frey says Kucherov is out until January. He also says Brandon Frey says Kucherov is out until January. He had surgery to repair his.
He's got a little torn for JJ, is what Brandon is saying.
His hymen. What can I say?
Out 8 to 10 weeks.
What a film said. Oh goodness gracious! I need to pop that up. Sorry. John Smith said Toronto. Who? Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
They still have time to right the ship too. I mean, they might qualify. It's so early. It's so early. Anything can happen.
Tommy B said the Islanders will live with the current defense setup with Aho sprinkled in until close to Christmas. At that time, if they need to, they'll turn to Salo. Well, this is information that comes directly from Lou Lamoriello, so I trust it, Grumpy Old Man. So, hey, if that's...
Of course, TJ believe anything that Tommy Baffy tells him. He could tell him the sky was purple. Lou said the sky was purple. Okay, must be true. You got it from Lou's trash can.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you what we think about the games until he'd be having his chance up there? Say about 2025. Till December or till, towards December or around Christmas time, you're looking at 25, 30 some odd games. So right around that time frame.
I just don't see Barry sprinkling Aho in.
I like
do what you've done it already.
Brett W says, hey, Bailey isn't the worst forward. We've got, you forgot Parise.
Parise he has no points. Shocker there. But he has not embarrassed himself out there like other players have. So let's give him, I mean, if you want to look at a flowery statement, Zach Parise has not been a total bust. There you go.
Paul O.C. said, Grumpy, we had only 2 power plays. Both came in the third period.
Okay.
Andrew L. said, take Josh Bailey off the power play. You will see the improvement.
I don't know about that. Here's the thing. He's certainly not the solution. I think it's more, we're just not talented enough up front. We don't have enough individual talent on the power play. We just don't. We're not a super talented team offensively. Just not. You know who could have made the power play better? The second round pick and Samuel Bulda could have made that a lot better. Lot better.
Michael T said Tarasenko was there for the tanking and nobody took him. What does that say? Seriously. Michael T, here's the thing. Sometimes
shows that every team is just as stupid not taking a chance on a guy who can pump goals in.
I'm freaking answering the question.
A freaking slot machine. Go, 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 go.
I love
winner, chicken dinner.
I love how I'm answering the freaking question, and you could not freaking restrain yourself for 2 damn seconds to let me answer it, and you said, "Wow, I'm gonna answer it for me." What the hell?
Here's the reason why I got to jump in, because if I let you go on some long-winded diatribe that makes no sense and is totally boring, I might forget my train of thought. So I'm going to jump right ahead, give you the exciting answer, and then you can Phil's facts the rest of your example. Thanks, D-Cut. That's for you, baby. Sorry, Phil.
Oh, man. Hey, I just think that you got to be bold sometimes, right? We said, what were I'm willing to trust, again, our team physicians, I'm sure, maybe looked at the medical records, no earthly idea how serious we got with them. But if in reality, all it cost was Bolduc and a second round pick, I think we were foolish not to, at least further explore that avenue. But I guess we'll see. And then
explore the avenue, because I'm TJ. I would love to get a job with the Islanders.
Because let me just go interrupt you.
Explore the opportunity.
Oh, Jesus.
What a joke.
Michael T said, no Patrick Kane for you.
No Patrick Kane for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That being said, he also says, in Lou, we trust.
What a shock.
Sea-Dog 5800 says, I really hope Pavillier turns it up and becomes that solid goal scorer.
I like Anthony Pavillier, but he is what he is. He's a streaky scorer. That's what he's going to be. you got to live and die with when he's hot. He's great. The second line will be great. When he's not, the second line's going to struggle. Period.
I could care less about this team struggling.
I could care less about the team's struggles. I just want to kiss you. Thanks, Joe Namath.
I still laugh my ass off to that.
Oh man, Joe. I remember watching that live. They were celebrating the 1968 championship team, and he was so snockered. And
he was hammered. I was about to say, I can watch that clip every single time and still chuckle at it. I can care less about the team
struggles. And he just looking at her like, yeah, I met him at a Super Bowl. Really nice guy. He was trying to pick up some other girl then too. So, he's Broadway Joe, baby.
Matthew C. said, Sallow, Robin Sallow.
Do you remember? Nah, forget. I'm not going to say who he was trying to pick up, but it was another celebrity type.
Brandon Frey said, nothing pissed me off more than when Dennis Potvin was a color analyst there for the Panthers games when he had zero history with their organization.
You know what? I'm going to disagree. I loved listening to Dennis Potvin as a color analyst of the Panther games just because I like Dennis Potvin. Didn't matter that he had history. He had knowledge of the game, and I enjoyed listening to him. I think he's with Ottawa now. But I always enjoyed listening to him. Randy Crowder has been Randy Crowder's a good analyst. I think he's doing the games with Stephen Goldstein, I think his name is. He's a good play-by-play guy too.
Brandon Frey says, hey, I'm from Orlando.
Hey, you know what? You should have let me know when I was down there. I could have, bunked up with you a little bit, not paid the high hotel prices.
Noah W. says, you think we try to trade Varlamov at the trade deadline or in the offseason? Well, we're definitely not trading him this year, and I don't think we're trading him in the offseason either. I think ideally what's going to happen is you're going to see him play less games next year. I think it will be a clear defined. This year, I still feel like maybe Sorokin will get a few more games if he's able to stay healthy than Varlamov.
How is that possible? How is that possible when Sorokin has a 6-game lead on him? That Varlamov is going to get more games. He's not the better goalie.
No,
would I trade him at the deadline?
I think Sorokin's going to get slightly more games than Varlamov this year.
Okay.
If they stay healthy.
I hope not. Honestly, I hope not because he's not the better goalie.
Jesus Christ. Listen to me. Listening ears on. I just said
I hope not. He's not the better goalie.
Sorokin is going to get slightly more games than Varlamov. Is what I said now for 3.
I hope so because he's the better goalie.
Holy shit. If you weren't trying to cut me off so goddamn fast, you would be able to
I was just playing with you guys called a joke. See if you can learn what a joke is. Don't take everything so serious, okay, Sunshine?
Jesse B said, who starts on Saturday? Sorokin or Varlamov? Sorokin. He said,
I think that
Brandon
Sorokin should get the start, but I think the only reason that Varlamov is being activated is so he can start.
Brandon Fry says, TJ, my last name is pronounced Fry, not Frey. I hate when people say Frey. Brandon Fry, grumpy old man. I don't know why
you called him Frey.
I call him Frey. What can I say? I'm sorry. I didn't know it was Fry. I tell you, I butcher names. Brandon, you should wear my inability to pronounce your name like a badge of honor because you, just like everybody else, I cannot pronounce their name. And unless it's something like Smith, Robertson, it's pretty tough for me. I'm inarticulate. That being said, D Cut said, like that Trotz played Wallstrom with Barzal on occasion in Vegas.
Yes. I'd love to see them together. Love it. Together. I'd love to see them together. It's TH, grumpy old man, not a D. Together. Together. Love to see them together.
Aaron G said, the Red Wings just won tonight. I'm happy about it because it's my birthday, boys. Happy birthday.
Hey, all right. Good for you, Aaron. Happy birthday. TJ, that's one of his upstart teams for this year is the Red Wings. He's been pumping up. Let's give credit where credit's due. TJ's been trumpeting Stevie White, who was a great general manager, by the way, and saying he's going to turn them around. They're going to be playoffs
this year. Next year. Fringe playoff contenders this year. Next year, guaranteed lock for the playoffs. You heard it here again. You heard it here.
And the young guys are producing there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Michael T said, I used to get the Seventh Man newsletter. Who remembers that?
I used to get that. Yeah. I used to get that. They
What
used to
was
talk
the
about
back, Grumpy? I want you to elaborate.
I forget who wrote it. I don't remember. It's been so long. It was like a little newsletter come out once a month, whatever it was. I think I still have copies of that upstairs in a box somewhere. They were there. They used to talk about the Milsteins owning the team. They were negative, if you could believe that. I know everyone wants everything to be flowery and everything's great with the world. Well, you know what? I live in the real world. Some people don't. But the Seventh Man newsletter certainly did.
Now, okay, let me ask you.
This was before Wong bought the team.
So they've changed it now. So, like, I was trying to pull some information on the Seventh Man. Now they've changed it. It's an official site for the Seattle Kraken.
Okay.
So now they've tried. I'd have to find some. I'd have to do some real digging. Coach Honey B said, "Grumpy old man beating the big bad Bruins in the '80s was the signature series. The no one pushes us around anymore series."
Yeah, that was a big series, man. Oh man, yeah. I tell you what, we had tough guys on our team, and they went to the mat in that series against Boston. And Boston was the big bad Bruins back then. Oh man. Talk about fights in playoff games. You don't see that anymore. There were fights every single playoff game, brawls. Great stuff. Great stuff. I love that. Some of the flakies couldn't handle it nowadays, but real people could.
Andrew L said, Tonelli.
Tenystrom. Who scores?
Was I on?
The Islanders win the Stanley Cup.
Was I on echo right there, Grumpy? It was almost.
I have no idea. I don't even care.
Oh, goodness gracious. Jimmy S. also said, yeah, I agree. Sorokin being the better goalie, but I think Varlamov is better than you say, Grumpy.
I said he's a solid goalie. I didn't say he was bad. He's good. He's just not the best goalie.
What a film said the Islanders schedule sucks right now. We have 3 back-to-backs with a lot of time off in between. The NHL hates us.
I was thinking about that too. We have the 5 days off before Nashville, then another 4 days till the next game. And it's like, why are we not adding a game or two in there just to kind of get rid of a couple of those back-to-backs or 3 and 4s?
Well, here's the thing too. If it's impossible to a good, it's a double-edged sword, positive and negative. You can't develop any momentum. So you can't develop any downward momentum. Like if you're struggling, nothing can build on itself. Also, if you're playing well, you can't build off of that either because you got so many days in between.
And the whole thing is, but here's another thing, right? Why did the NHL do it? Well, perhaps, okay, they play so many games on the road. We don't want to send them on a month road trip, never going home. They get to go home for 5 days, live with their families, practice, in their rink or wherever they practice. And then the same thing with, another 4-day stretch there. So maybe they're able to rejuvenate themselves and have a home life, which I'm sure the players like.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then Michael T said, I'm sorry. Tommy B said, Vegas outplayed us. I agree there. Sorokin was the star. Michael T also said the Vegas game was the ugliest 3-0 shutout victory I've ever seen. It was 2-0.
Yeah. It would have been better if it was 3, but it was only 2. But that's okay. We understand. Yeah. Here's the thing. It wasn't a pretty win. That's okay because they all count.
Yep. That is true.
I do want us to play better, though. We need to play better.
Yep. Oh, don't we all? Noah W said, do you guys know what happened to having ads on the jerseys? I thought, they would be adding this year. They get added in the 2022-2023 season, I believe. They won't begin until that year.
Money, money, money. It's a rich man's world.
Honestly, at this point, anything to get revenue up, I think it's still criminal at the majority of the profits the NHL makes because they're cutting it razor thin, are all based off of in-game attendance. I mean, it's the largest of the 4 major sports. So if they could do anything to offset that, you know what? Just keep it clean. Do it like they have soccer. They do 1 ad. Don't do a million freaking ads. Don't put ads on the helmets like they do in some of the European leagues and ads all over the shirts where you can barely tell what team is associated with it. Put 1 ad maybe above, a little bit upper on the chest and then have it on the crest. You don't like that?
No, I'd much rather have ads on the helmets. I don't want them on the jerseys. I love the clean jersey look. I don't want to see ads on a freaking jersey.
So you want to see like a million stickers on a helmet?
I could care less if they put stickers on their helmets. I don't want it to be like freaking NASCAR.
I can care less about this. That's all I can think of. Anytime I see her, I could care less. Grumpy do it all the time. I got that. You saw that fly almost fly on my face, didn't you, Grump?
I try not to pay any attention to you, honestly.
Andrew L said, some of these comments make me question if any of these people actually watched the Vegas game. They clearly dominated, and Leonard was not solid.
Thank you.
Vegas clearly
He looked
dominated.
shaky in that. I thought he looked shaky in that.
Sorokin just took the spotlight per usual.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul OC said Grumpy in game 5 against Pittsburgh, Sorokin stood on his head, 48 saves on 50 shots with a 3-2 win in double overtime. That was the game. Yari made the pass to Bailey in overtime, which was the series, in my opinion.
True. Sorokin was great. Jari was terrible. And even Josh Bailey scored with the assist from Jari.
Michael Montemuro says, what up, guys?
See, he knows him because there's no way he would have known his name. Honestly.
I would never have been able to pronounce his last name
him.
unless I knew Michael Montemuro. You told me about Michael Montemuro.
Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine. Really nice guy.
Tommy B said, DJ, I believe you, or TJ, I believe you're in the ballpark there on your take with Salo. Go, Grumpy. That's why we get along so well. Tommy,
yeah, you and Tommy. I know. I was suspecting a little, patting each other on the butt. Yeah, the two of you
patting each other on the back. Tommy B, I also think we're going to play on Saturday. That's another good take as well. I'll pat myself on the back on that one. I think we're going to suit up and we're going to play. I think you're going to see some Islander fans down there too. Frank K said he'll be out there somehow. Sounds like he can't escape this occurrence. Joe Quinville is done.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Here's the thing: if he knew, it's a really bad look. That's all I know. It's really bad. I don't know. I guess it's just not. I don't understand how that somehow escapes not something happening at the time. I guess because it's just something that if I saw something like that, I'd say something to somebody and I'd push it. And I'm an old guy. I mean, it's not like, oh, hey, yeah, whatever. Have fun over there. No, sorry, it's just wrong. I mean,
absolutely Grumpy.
I don't understand why it took for 10 years or 11 years to come out. I don't understand.
D-Cut said, with Lou and Barry, the one thing we can all agree on is the Islanders are once again a classy organization. This BS with the Hawks that they pulled would have never happened here. That is 100% true.
Okay. Never say never. I agree 100% that Lou and Barry have made this a high class. Here's the thing. We've never been a bad organization. Yeah, we've not had the right people in charge, but I can always say that this organization has always gone about doing the right thing. Always. Yes, we didn't have the players. Yes, we weren't winning, but it wasn't run by it was run the right way, if you know what I mean. And but I don't like to say never, because as soon as you say that, you might jinx it. So I never say never. But without a doubt, Lou and Barry have restored this organization to the greatness that it used to have. Maybe not the greatness it used to have, but we're at least competitive on it. Consistent.
Anytime I hear you say never, all I can think about is Justin Bieber's album. That's all I can think about. Never say
Justin
never.
Bieber, like a little singer boy, isn't he?
Yeah, Michael T said we just need to find surgeons with from the Bionic Man to give Chara a bionic leg.
We can't post that up there again because we want to.
You'd be shocked. I can't post the Bionic Man. I posted it once, and I had to. It was flagged and blocked in the United States and Canada, so we had to edit the clip after.
You can rebuild them. We have the technology.
Okay. Frank K said, not true. Komarov has pictures of Lou dressed up in Chippendales as a Chippendales dancer for Halloween. Is that why you're saying he sticks around with the organization and got overpaid?
I'm just saying. It's a possibility. That's all I'm saying.
Tommy B is saying there, Bettman is classless and total garbage.
We don't know what. Again, I don't like to jump to conclusions on certain things. And this is serious. I don't know if he knew or not. If he knew, he's in trouble too. I mean, I don't understand. I haven't read the deposition. I don't know what Kyle Beach has said. But if he brought it to people in the organization, high ups, something's got to go.
Mike M saying here, Kazoo.
Yes. We have talked about Kazoo on the previous podcast. Matter of fact, I know Michael M. He has a head like, oh, there it is, like Kazoo. Not a whole lot of hair on top of that.
He's got a helmet on, Grumpy.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he's got any hair under there either.
I think he's got a luscious locks of. Oh, what the hell is this?
That's the movie. It was like a live action movie.
Oh God,
They thought they would cash in. It didn't work.
I could imagine with characters and Kazoo looking like that. I'm sure it didn't cash in. Oh man, oh man. Tommy B said, "I bet the grumpy old man once had a Flintstone mobile.
Yabba dabba doo.
He used to ride with Jack Capuano in it to work."
Wilma.
Oh man, oh man.
He just could have climbed through the freaking window. He just could have climbed through the window. He's banging on the door. He puts the cat out. The cat hops back in. He goes to put the cat out. He puts the milk out. The cat closes the door on him. He can't get in. He's banging on. Just hop through the window, Fred. Come on. I'm like, hey, even when a kid, I'm like, why isn't he going in the window? There's no screen there, no glass. They just walk right in. It was like Planet of the Apes. They didn't have any windows. You just come right in.
Andrew L said, Bettman is an Islanders fan too, I believe. Tough look for us. This doesn't affect us at all.
I don't think it affects us in any way, shape, or form.
Tommy B also said, Frank, are you dressing up like Steve Perry for Halloween? He says, nope, dressing up as the grumpy old man with a couch.
Yeah.
As a costume.
He's going to have to put a skull cap on. He's going to come as me.
He's going to have to shave his head. Yeah, skull cap maybe is better.
All right, not shave the head. Don't go overboard, all right?
Mike M also said, it doesn't take superstars to move the puck and work a good system.
Why is this guy bringing like intelligent hockey conversation here? What the hell's wrong with him?
Tommy B said, TJ, more than just accepting the trade they asked for, they would have to find a way to shed $7 million in cap to make it happen. I assume Josh has some. Yeah, I assume Josh Bailey has some sort of value, though. Some team would have been like, oh, okay, Josh Bailey offers something to us. Again, I think about Nick Leddy. Go ahead, Grump.
You didn't have to sign Palmieri back. You did not have to sign Kyle Palmieri back. There's $5 million right there. You did not have to sign him back. Problem solved.
Hodaz says, sounds like Grumpy needs more hot dogs in his diet to keep up with TJ's pep. That's for certain, man. When you get on that 6 hot dog a day diet, Grumpy, 6 hot dog for lunch diet, oh, baby, okay. That's when you start working. That's when you start humming, Grumpy. You just need to get over 6 hot dogs.
I was talking with my son this afternoon, and we did a FaceTime thing, and he had hot dogs on the plate. And it looked like there was 1 hot dog left, but it looked like there was like a whole area that could have had hot dogs. I said, how many hot dogs did you eat today? He's like, 4. I'm like, 4 hot dogs for lunch? Hey,
Grumpy, sounds like your son knows what the hell is going on. 4 hot dogs. He needs to pick it up a little bit, though. Once he gets to 6 hot dogs, that's when he's in style. Don C said,
once you get to 400 pounds, let me know.
Don C said, a good point. Look at what happened when Mike Bossy was drafted by the New York Islanders.
I don't know what point.
Fair enough, Grumpy. I was expecting you to remember. D-Cut said, I found Brett Yorkman's burner account on Twitter. Frank K can confirm it when he admitted it to me. Trolls the Isles daily. What a tool.
Yeah, he used to work with, I think, the Barclay people, right?
Perhaps. Frank K said, Potvin lives rent-free in Ranger fans' heads, considering Nielsen even calls the chant dumb.
Yep, I know what it's like to live in people's heads.
Oh, man.
It's fun.
One in a million says, not sure why everyone is so quick to want to trade Varlamov. Who are we getting cheaper and as good? I know Mitch Korn can turn any scrub into an all-star goalie, blah, blah, blah. I was about to say, I'm not on board trading Varlamov right now, and they wouldn't because they're in win-now mode. They're not going to say, let's take even a slight step back in goalie unless there's some significant return that helps the team now and fills a void. I don't see us trading Varlamov. No way.
I'm just saying that in the offseason, I would not be opposed to moving in.
Who would be? You'd have to have a contingency plan, though.
Well, but I think that goalies, you can get another veteran goalie on the cheap. Sorokin's ready to take over. He could play 55 games, 57 games, and you let the other guy play, 25? That can work. There are a whole lot of veteran goalies out there. It's not like the olden days where, there's only like 10 really good goalies in the league. There's a whole lot of good goalies. And I think we could pick somebody up like that on the cheap and save some money and go after somebody in free agency, perhaps. Not in season, though. It's not happening in season.
Yeah, and I don't think it should. Oh, Montreal beat the Blackhawks in overtime. Blackhawks still winless on the season.
Well, they got another point.
Wow.
2 for the year.
They need a little bit more. They need a little more of the points. All these hiccups, Grumpy. You got all these
I
hiccups.
can't help it.
Coach Tommy B said, yeah, it used to be an Islanders monthly newspaper. It was pretty awesome back in the day. Talking about the seventh man.
I did not get that.
And then Jimmy S said, it's my birthday too. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Happy
You know what? People who have October birthdays are absolutely the coolest people on the planet.
I assume your birthday's in October, Grumpy?
It certainly is.
When's your birthday, Grumpy, in October? You have a birthday today too you haven't told us about?
Friday is my birthday.
So you're telling me we're doing a post-birthday podcast on Saturday?
Whatever.
Oh, one of the million said,
Art Feeney. Yes, it was
Feeney.
Art Feeney. Yes, it was Art Feeney.
Art Feeney, who created the seventh man. I
Yeah.
could be wrong though. Michael T says, heading to Tonelli, to Nystrom. Go.
Yep. But that's not what they said.
Paulo C said, Grumpy, I would really think it over giving up Mayfield for Tarasenko. I'd be very cautious. He's one of this one because a young defenseman like Mayfield is very valuable.
When Tommy said it was one or the other, I would most certainly have moved Bolduc and the second over Mayfield, particularly because we're in win now mode. So that's what I would have done. If it was one or the other, I would have moved the younger player. And possibly the younger player has more appeal to St. Louis or had more appeal to St. Louis. If they said one or the other, what's the difference? Keep the veteran who's proven that he's a good playoff performer in crunch time, and let the young guy go. I'm all for that to make your team way better offensively.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Grumpy. I got a comment there that you'll like. What a film said, Varley isn't going anywhere. He better not. They're great together, and that might be the difference in winning a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I just want Sorokin to play more. I think he's better in the long. Varlamov's not going anywhere during the season. That's not happening.
Michael T said, ads on jerseys is blasphemous, and I will have a hard time with it. See, like, I like it. I know it doesn't work for hockey, but if you got rid of the emblem, with a big picture of the emblem, you could just do a big ad there in the middle, like they always do for like
what?
a tiny crest. I'm saying it happens out there in other sports. I don't know. That's what they.
I don't care what other sports do.
Nice. I think the soccer jerseys look nice.
No, they don't. It's because they don't have emblems on their jerseys.
I'm not saying we get rid of the emblem. I'm saying that's the only way it could work is if you move the emblem into something like this and put an advertisement in the middle.
You're a fan of the Burnley Clarets, right? What the hell is
Burnley
a claret?
The Burnley Claret. It's a B.
It's a B. You know what? There's a reason why they don't put that on a jersey because it's stupid. You don't want to see that. They should be called the Burnley Clarinets.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy.
No. These teams have great logos. Hockey jerseys are the best of all the jerseys. It's not even close.
You want to know what a claret looks like, Grumpy? This is what a claret is. This is our claret right there.
Yeah, like I said, maybe you should put some ad on there instead of putting that thing on
See,
it looks like a freaking chicken. What is that, a chicken?
No. It's Love Bet. I believe it was a Chinese company it was a Chinese betting company.
No. The picture, the logo. Pull that up. What is that? A chicken on the top over there?
It's I don't honestly know what the heck that is. It's a duck, but the claret's the bee, as you see here, and then there's the lion.
Yeah, no. There's a reason why they put. Okay, this team couldn't even get somebody who writes in English. They're an English Premier League team, and they got to have somebody from China, Bumfuckistan, write the damn thing on their shirt. No.
Jimmy S said, I agree with Grump on the jerseys.
Yeah, no.
The film said, I'm ordering the shirt with Grumpy's Groupies in a van. Give Paige a thumbs up.
Oh, man, look at that water. He's all right. He's the man.
I was going to say. And then D-Cut said, Snow was a royal POS. Next time I call, I'll tell you why. First-hand knowledge.
Yes, that's what we like. That's the type of juice we like.
I like it. I like that. I do like
because you know what? We like true stories on here. We like to tell the truth on this podcast. We want it to be entertaining. That's an entertaining, and I know it's going to be true coming from D-Cut.
Paulo C said,
Isles Misery, rated R.
Varlamov should play only the next back-to-back or a bad game by the team or Sorokin.
Agreed.
John P. said, "What's up, gentlemen? Just signed on. Big day tomorrow." He said, "Presenting my national conference tomorrow. My nerves."
Hey, John P., it's going to go great. You don't even need to worry. Don't be nervous. Just think what the grumpy old man was doing, and you'll be fine.
Oh goodness. Tommy B said Varlamov very well could have moved in. It could have been moved in the offseason. And they signed a vet on the cheap like Grice. Hint, hint.
True. Yeah.
Grice has had a pretty bad start, didn't he? For I think Detroit, he had pretty bad games now. If I'm thinking about it, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I don't know if Grice is the answer, but somebody cheap like that. Remember, you're not going to play a whole lot of games. And Mitch Korn and Pierre Greco.
Yes,
Okay.
Pierre Greco, Mitch Korn.
But here's the thing. They are really, really good goalie coaches. And with Barry's system, it makes all goalies better than they probably are.
What a Film said, "You guys do remind me of Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. You're Barney, TJ. Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo.
I'm the sidekick." Jimmy S said, "Thank you." And Coach Tommy B
Happy birthday.
Happy 84th birthday, grumpy old man. Have an amazing day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I look damn good for 84.
Yeah, you would if that's the case. John P said Sorokin is the difference.
Yes, I know. He's trying to make that one stick. I kind of like it.
That I do. Hey, maybe sure one day. Who knows? Eve L said, "Does Philip Tomasino score against us on Saturday?"
All I have to say, if he does, watch out.
What's going to happen if he does, Grumpy?
Content. That's easy content.
Oh,
I love easy content.
How is that
like shooting fish in a barrel?
How is that easy content for you, Grumpy?
Easy content for me. That's like 15 minutes of show right there. Very easily.
I just wanted you to say, hey, we passed him up the Three Amigos. I wanted you to mention the Three Amigos. I was trying to set you up. I was trying to give you a volley to hit over the spike over the net. How is that easy content? I don't know how many words I can ask that, Grump.
Because he's one of the Three Amigos, which has been named by D-Cut, has named the Three Amigos. When we brought up Casper Holmstrom, who's been a flat-out bust, the Josh Bailey of Bridgeport. You know what? These other guys are producing. Guess who's not? Thank you. Another one of Lou Lamoriello's failures. Epic fail. The Tarasenko thing, if Tommy's correct, he really dropped the ball on that. I'm sorry. You got to take a chance. You piss away first-round draft picks to get rid of people. I mean, I'm sorry. A second-rounder and Samuel Bolduc, and you could have brought in a 30-goal scorer, consistent 30-goal scorer, and you said no? Fail.
1 in a million said, I like Varley, but it better be Sorokin in the playoffs.
I don't think it will be. He loves his veterans.
Paulo C said, Mike Bossy, 50-plus goals for 9 straight seasons from rookie year will never be broken. That is a fact. Never, ever.
The only year he didn't score 50 was his last year when he scored 38. And he missed a great deal of the year with the back injury. And, that was the end for him. I remember where I was when I heard he retired. Howard Cosell was doing something for WABC Sports Radio, a little sports minute. And I was driving home from work. I was in the shopping center right by a photo mat. And I was like, holy crap, Mike Bossy retired. I couldn't believe it. I had to stop the car.
Had to put a full slam on those brakes, didn't you?
Now, if I was doing this podcast back then, they didn't have the internet, but if they did, man, I would be like all these Gladhander fans. I would, when you're young, you just are. And the team was so good for so long. Tough.
Alexander said, happy birthday, Grump. Enjoy your day and many blessings.
Thank you, Alexander.
D-Cut said, yeah, no mention of Casper. You almost made it. You almost made it a whole time without Casper, Grumpy.
Yeah, we added him at the end.
And then Alexander said, Grump, I could have sworn you were 25.
I like Alexander. That's not true. I'm sorry. I know I don't look that young. Come on.
It's funny. On 2 different platforms at the same exact time, Paulo C said, TJ, my bladder gave out before yours tonight. And D-Cut said, no bathroom breaks. TJ must have the Gatorade bottle under his chair.
That's what I think. Maybe he's catheterized before the show.
I was about to say, I'm trying to just make it to the end because I could have gone probably about 20 minutes ago, but peer pressure, I guess. That being said, Alexander said, I can see Sorokin outplaying Varlamov and taking over the reins as the number 1 goalie in the playoffs.
I hope so. I really hope so. He's the better goalie.
That for certain he is. Michael M. said, Grumpstradamus. Happy
Yes.
birthday, you beautiful man.
Tell your sister we're thinking about her, Michael.
And it's Michael, too. We're thinking about Michael, too.
Oh, it's Michael's birthday, too?
No. It's just family. It's family issue, Grumpy. I'll tell you about it later. I know
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem.
Yeah. Oh,
hey, to you too, Michael. If you're a family, hey.
Yeah.
Thinking about you is all I'm saying.
Absolutely. John P. said Tarasenko is a one hit on that shoulder away from being out for a year or longer.
Yeah, you know what? I was ready to roll the dice on that, though. I'm sorry. You're trying to win a cup. A cheap option for a first wing sniper goal scorer, 30-goal guy. Tell me, it would make us better.
That was hard. That was so hard to understand.
Yeah, it was a ham-handed. It was bad. I know. Throw it at me again. I don't care. It's terrible. A cheap, affordable first-line superstar goal scorer that we could have had for a second-round pick and a minor league defenseman. How's that better?
Much better. JK said, "Happy 19th birthday, Grumpy."
Add up the 25 to 19. You're still not even close.
Hoda said, "Oh, it's your birthday, Grumpy. Right on. Have a great one."
Thank you so much.
D-Cut said, "Happy early birthday, Grump. Have a great day, pal."
Thank you very much.
Also saying, "Thank you guys, going through a very tough time." Yeah, absolutely. Thinking thoughts and prayers there with you and Kim there for certain.
Without a doubt.
And that being said, Grumpy, we're kind of here at the end of tonight's podcast. Let me ask you, Grumpy, what do you have to say before we wrap things up here today?
Yeah, I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man and Michael and Isles Girl 3, wish you nothing but the best. And I don't know what's going on. TJ is going to tell me, but I'm thinking about you. I will tell you that.
Absolutely, guys. And thank you so much for listening in and tuning in, guys. Again, we do always appreciate the support and the love and laughter we have here on this podcast. It's just a lot of fun Grump and I have with you guys, with this community. That's for certain. Again, we wouldn't trade it in for anything in the world. That being said, thank you so much, guys, for listening. It means a lot. It means the world to us. And I, number one, hope you guys have a great evening, great morning, wherever you're listening to this. Thank you again. And thank you, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.